Welcome inside Labatt Memorial Park, London Majors Baseball here on Majors TV.
Majors win! The Majors walk it up!
We're doing great. I feel amazing.
Hit well to left field. Going back. Do you believe it? He's hit it out. Marching towards third. Here's the relay from Hernandez. Not in time.
Well, good evening, folks, and welcome to Labatt Memorial Park, the home of the London Majors. Boy, it is a beautiful day for some Friday night baseball between the visiting Toronto Maple Leafs and the London Majors. Now, the Toronto Maple Leafs are 3-12 so far on the young season. They're 1-5 on the road, and they have some problems offensively and on the pitching side, both, which is obviously something that they don't want to have happen. But their pitching has been struggling. An ERA just over 8 and a WHIP over 2 as a team. And if you don't know what WHIP is, it's walks and hits per inning. As for their offense, they have scored the least amount of runs in the CBL, so they're hoping to turn the page as they try and battle for a playoff spot. As for the London Majors, they sit 13-5 on the season, tied for first place in the CBL. They're coming off of a very tough game against the Chatham Barnstormers on Tuesday, losing 9-5. They're hoping to turn the page and get back on the win column here this evening. But without further ado, let's send it up to the gentleman who will call this game, Justin Koehler. Owen Taylor, take it away.
Thanks, Evan. Great intro there. Thank you so much for joining us. A great Friday night for baseball here at Labatt Memorial Park. Again, Justin Koehler, Owen Taylor. You just heard from Evan Fredrickson down on field level. Thank you so much for joining us. Owen, should be a really fun matchup. Kind of a tale of two different teams, kind of opposite sides of the coin. In any case, though, it should be exciting to watch tonight.
It should be a very exciting game, and obviously London too's tied for first in the CBL. Toronto, as Evan said, 3-12. They're 1-4 in their last 5 games. Everything is kind of struggling right now. They're trying to get into a better track record. Both teams coming off a loss earlier this week. London losing in Chatham on Tuesday. Toronto losing at home against the Barrie Bay Cats on Wednesday. So both teams trying to take a step up and try and come back after their tough losses during the week and trying to get back into the win column today.
The nice thing is, no matter what, at the end of the day, one team will have a bit more momentum back on their side, which will be a whole lot of fun. Obviously, Toronto, like you've heard it a couple times, has struggled here and there. The Majors, meanwhile, have had a little bit more success, you could argue, at times. But in any case, it's going to make for a really fun matchup either way. We might get an upset. We might get some continued growth for the Majors. So thank you so much for joining us, whether that's on CBL TV, on Majors TV as well. Happy to have you here wherever you're tuning in from. Oh, and one of the big stories today that Evan kind of touched on is not just the Majors versus the Maple Leafs, but the pitching matchup for today should actually leave a lot of excitement right on the mound today. Obviously, Evan just in the pregame talked about some of the struggles for Toronto, but this man is definitely not one of them so far this season. Yeah,
well, Hannes Alvarado has been one of the stronger Toronto Maple Leafs so far this season, a 1-1 record, just above a 4 ERA, 7 strikeouts per 9 innings. So kind of like unlike Victor Payano, he's not really the big strikeout pitcher. He's trying to work on his command a little bit more with that 3 watts per 9. As you look at Victor Payano and just the London pitching staff as a whole, you have all 3 starters with 4 wins on the year. You have Victor Payano, who's at a sub-4 ERA. He has been very strong so far, although the one start he had where he gave up 5 a couple of weeks ago. But he's really getting back on his track and kind of getting in his rhythm again. Look for him to do the same thing as he's been all season long, where he's been real aggressive to hitters. Look for him to have the same approach again today. And for Alvarado, really try and get aggressive with these London hitters. I talked to the group trainer that before the game, they want to really get attacking early, get the lead in the first 2 innings. So look for them to try and do that and be successful today.
Well, and it should be a lot of fun. It's one of the few instances, especially here at Labatt Memorial Park, where we see Victor Payano going up against a pitcher that has a bit of a different makeup to him. So I think it'll be interesting to see the two different approaches on the mound. But speaking of pitching, I had a great opportunity to talk with a key bullpen arm for the Majors, Miguel Sereno, in this week's episode of Clubhouse Conversations.
I beat our coach Albert on squash, so when you see this, you're not good.
The pitching staff across the board has been pretty exceptional so far this season. Can you speak to that consistency and how that's impacted the confidence across all the arms that we've seen in the majors?
One thing I say is like our pitching coach, Payano, he's been on top of the guys, he's been letting them know, hey, we got to run, we got to get ready, if you want to be great, like I said, you got to be on this 24/7, so.
And so I'm glad you mentioned Payano. How is it having not just a regular GM field manager like Rube Chanderdat, but actually having a player who will still go out, start a few games here and there? How is it having someone in a leadership role who kind of plays both cards like that?
I mean, it's amazing, like having guys like Payano and Pimentel also, because these are guys that have a lot of experience. It feels amazing, and the fact that they know a lot about it, it helped us a lot.
For those who maybe don't know what goes on in some of those mound visits, can you just describe what kind of happens and what those conversations look like and the 30-second chance that you have when Payano comes out?
When he comes out there, or any pitching coach that comes out there, is trying to calm down the player for the situation. Like pitchers, we are 90% of the game, so we're alone in the mound, nobody's around us. So the game speeds up a little bit. So sometimes coaches go up there to just relax and talk a little bit about what we're gonna do next, or just to give you a breather, just relax a little bit, breathe in, breathe out, let's go.
And so in terms of consistent presences, obviously you have the likes of Payano, but we can't have that conversation without talking about Eduardo Diolio behind the plate as well.
That's relaxing. Again, I mentioned relax a lot, but that's my word. Having a guy that knows what he's doing behind the home plate, you don't have to think a lot, Maybe you make your decision here and there as a pitcher, but having him behind the home plate is amazing.
My last question for you. Obviously, it's been a ton of fun to watch this team so far. And being one of the newer faces on this team, it's another personality for everyone at home to start getting to know. On that front, what is one thing that you would like to tell the audience at home, everyone watching this Majors broadcast, to quickly sum up yourself really, really quick?
Well, my name is Miguel Sereno. I'm from Puerto Rico. I love playing baseball, and I love coming out here to show what we got, and and get to know everybody out here. Keep watching us. Let's go London Majors.
And there we go. What a note to end on. Wicked. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate chatting with you today. And we're back at Labatt Memorial Park. Sereno, an incredibly funny guy to talk to. A whole lot of laughs, a lot of smiles in that particular interview. Always fun to record those. But as we're getting ready for today's matchup, the London Majors again taking on the visiting Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's take a good opportunity to check out one of the more exciting parts of the game across the board, and that is these starting lineups. Again, We'll see a little bit of differences in the numbers, but it should make for an exciting game. Owen, what can you tell us about the starting lineup for the Leafs?
Yeah, this is the lineup that's really trying to get on the right track. Only a 700 team OPS throughout this season. Brando LaRue will be your shortstop for Toronto and the leadoff hitter, followed by Tritz Tavares at first base. Yasiel Puig will stay in his usual 3 spot, followed by J.J. Dutton and Marcus Connect as the 4 and 5. Dennis Day-Banning is a little bit lower in the lineup as usual. He is in left, and he will be the 6th hitter, followed by Jordan Mandalay. And lastly but not least, Matt Fabian at third and Matt Brandt at catcher.
Definitely a lot of potential in that lineup, particularly those first, I would say, 5 batters between LaRue, Tavares, Puig, Dutton, and Connect. Plenty of good offensive statistics there. We'll get into those as we really get into the course of the game. But The majors so far this season have been almost on a different level. They've been on a pretty good tear so far across the board, and we'll kick things off as we normally do, but a few changes in the lineup as well. Michael Escato at shortstop, Jared Burney in center, Trent Lenahan making a bit of a move to third base today, Christian Noah at second, Diolio, the trusted wall behind the plate at catcher position, Joseph DHing, Tucker Zadunik in right, Adam Thuss joining the starting lineup in left field, and Jaden Babiak over at first. So a few different changes here and there. What do you think of some of those?
Yeah, a couple of changes here. Go to the 8 right-handed hitters. That last hitter is Xavier Whittle, not Jaden Babiak. So Xavier Whittle is into the lineup as well as Adam Thuss. I was talking to Roop Chanderdat today. The big left-handed arm of Alvarado. They'll go for the 8 right-handed hitters to start this game off, as obviously Thuss in for Hancock, Whittle at first base as we move Lenahan over, and Babiak is not in the lineup today. It's a very good lineup. It's a very big lineup. As I said earlier, talking to Roop Chanderdat, they're going to really try and get aggressive early, try and get a run or two in within the first 3 innings. If you can get that lead, you know you're pretty secure. All you need to do is just keep your game clean, keep it nice and smooth, and as you find your rhythm throughout the game, you see you're going to try and come back and get the win today.
And so speaking of some of those changes, obviously those come from the big man upstairs, Koehler and general manager Roop Chanderdat, and Evan Fredrickson, our on-field reporter, had the chance to talk to him in this week's Roop's Report.
All right, I'm here with Jim and co-owner of the London Majors, Roop Chanderdat. Roop, as always, thanks so much for doing this. You guys are coming off of what was a very emotional, intense game in Chatham on Tuesday, and after the loss, what is kind of like the message to your guys after that game?
You know what? Next day, we can't focus on yesterday, as I told you before. We got to start moving forward. So we just talked about being in a tight game, making sure we can kind of win those games, and then we move forward to today. We're facing a great Toronto team, so you got to be ready to go next day.
You've got your ace, Victor Payano, on the mound. What are your keys to the game for him to attack the Toronto lineup?
Well, you said it. He's got to attack that lineup. We're going to have an eye on his fastball. We want to make sure he's locating that. Payano doesn't walk anyone. He's got 1 or 2 walks all year. So we just want to make sure that fastball is going, and he's got a big league curveball. So, if he's around the zone, he's going to be very effective.
And lastly, what are your keys for your offense against one of the better Toronto?
You know what? We faced him last time. He's a good pitcher. So we're going to have to score early. We talked about that, get him out of rhythm, getting some confidence in our offense. So we're going to look to get some runs early, get Payano a lead, and build off that lead. That's the key to our offense, scoring early and then building momentum off that.
Roop, as always, thanks so much and good luck here tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Carbon monoxide is a deadly gas you can't see, smell, or taste.
Homes with fuel-burning appliances and/or attached garages must have working CO alarms installed on every level of the home.
Install working CO alarms today.
It's the law.
Everyone dreams of being great. Only a select few can be iconic. But only one is chosen. Introducing the Chosen One from Rawlings. The all-new one-piece composite iteration of the top-rated and established Icon BB Core bat.
Right at the corner of Warncliffe and Emery, Ellie's Pizzeria is your neighborhood spot for real, handcrafted pizza, using locally sourced flour for their dough and fresh ingredients from local farms for incredible flavor in every bite. Stop in before 3 p.m. for a slice and a pop for just $5, or 2 for $9. Ellie's Pizzeria, made local, made right.
Rise and remove your hat, folks, for our national anthem.
And we're back here at Labatt Memorial Park, but just as we're getting back, we'll take the opportunity to throw it right to the national anthem. Again, this is London Majors taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs right here on Majors TV.
Sing our national anthem.
We sing.
a beautiful national anthem. What a way to get a ball game going. Those harmonies were spectacular to listen to up here.
That was beautiful to listen to.
I know you guys sometimes miss it a little bit on the broadcast, but you also missed out on Forrest, obviously the Majors mascot, standing a few feet in front of them, almost acting as a little conductor as well. So, he likes to get involved as often as he can in every part of the ball game. But that was lovely, to say the least. In any case, a lovely start to the game. A pretty lovely day so far here in London, Ontario as well. All ahead of what hopefully is going to be as equally lovely of a ball game between the London Majors and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Again, thank you so much for tuning in to check this out. Wherever you're watching from today, should be a lot of fun. Really, really excited to get this one underway. While we have the opportunity, we will take a quick chance to talk about the umpiring crew for today's match as well. Home plate umpire and crew chief Steve Cochran today. The first base umpire will be Matthew Kinnett, and over at third base will be Hayden Moore to round things out here. Good list of guys. Should be a really, really fun one. And it all gets going with what should be a fun pitching matchup as Victor Payano takes the mound.
Yeah, it should be a very fun pitching matchup. Both of these guys kind of the same numbers throughout the start of the year, and Victor Payano has been very strong so far this season, as has Travis Keys, and Cecilio Pimentel is looking at Victor Payano's numbers again. He's 4-1 with a pretty good ERA, a 3.29 ERA so far this season. So he has really stepped up for the Majors, is looking into another strong performance today against this Toronto lineup.
You start looking at these strong performances and almost the consistencies as well, now that we're over a third of the way through this season. And with us being so far, teams are also starting to, and I guess I should say fans as well, are really starting to look to the All-Star game over in Chatham-Kent. That's coming up in a few weeks' time. It should be a lot of fun. Make sure you get out and vote, whichever team you're rooting for here on the broadcast. Of course, go vote for the Majors. There's a few that are pretty close. We'll talk about that as the broadcast gets going, but always fun. Be sure to check that one out as well. But can't get too far ahead of ourselves. Obviously, have to talk about today's ball game, which is just about to get underway. Brandon Leroux, the right-handed batter, in the box. First pitch to him, a bit upstairs, and we are officially underway for today's game. So Leroux, a .313 average on the season. So that one catches the zone. First strike for Victor Payano.
Yeah, Brandon Leroux has had a pretty strong start to the season. He's only played in 8 of the first 15 games here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. However, as you said, a .313 batting average, a .983 OPS. So he has really been strong so far this year, as he went 2-5 back on Wednesday against the Welland Jackfish.
Some solid numbers so far across the board for him. And really, we've been talking about some of the lower points for the Maple Leafs, but there are quite a few bright spots, whether you're looking at some of the pitching, whether you're looking at the lineup. There is a lot to talk about, and there is a lot to like. It's just getting it all going at the same time, I think, has been the biggest struggle for this team so far. Obviously, we say that they're a third of the way through the season, but we're also only a third of the way through the season. Plenty of baseball left, plenty of time for changes, and realistically, the standings are actually pretty close as well so far, all said and done. 2-2 pitch. That one's a bit down and in.
Yeah, as you said, there's still so much baseball to be played leading up to this postseason and looking into it. Even though Toronto only has three wins so far, they're still not that far back from a playoff spot here.
So that one swung on, foul down the right side. Looks like it went well over the heads of everyone in the stands. So payoff pitch once again. Still the first batter of the ball game. Good battle by Leroux so far as that one swung on, grounded right up Main Street. It goes towards center. Bernie quick to get to it, and the Maple Leafs will start things off with a single right up the middle.
Well, there's a pretty good start here for Toronto. Brandon Leroux just took a high fastball right back to Victor Payano, and an early base runner here for Toronto was a is just the start they needed.
Sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes it doesn't need to be hit all that hard, but you get one up the middle, especially if you're able to just get it past the pitcher and you can do a good amount of damage. Obviously, pretty much no one there until you get towards center field. So good start. That'll bring up Crix Tavares, who's squaring to bunt. That goes down the first base side. Whittle racing over. It looks like they'll apply the tag. LaRue able to get to second on the play, though. So close one over at first. But job done for Tavares.
Yeah, smart play by Tavares to get the squeeze down, put it in a perfect spot so Whittle couldn't get the force at 2, and kind of took him on a different line than what Whittle would have preferred. Instead of having to go to the bag, went straight to the side of Tavares, and now Yasiel Puig, who's really trying to find his form this season.
The big man himself, big power hitting righty in the box with the runner in scoring. Puig has been on a pretty good stretch as of late. He's 6 for his last 14, so that's over his last 5 games. So good contact from him. Obviously, that's on top of the power that we've seen so far. Payano trying to slow things down. Keep an eye on LaRue over at second. The 1-0 pitch. Bit up and away, making it a 2-0 count. Lovely days so far, like we've been seeing on a lot of these Friday nights here at Labatt Memorial Park. We'll see how the sun ends up playing a factor. The shade from the grandstand back here, just approaching, pretty much just touching the edge of the pitcher's mound. So we'll see how that plays a factor as the game continues. Payano slows things down, takes a step off the mound. Trying to keep LaRue honest over there at second.
Yeah, that shade usually does play a pretty big factor here, as over time it eventually goes out into the outfield and really kind of tends to fool hitters early in the game.
2-0 pitch. Fouled back. Payano looks like he's resorting to a few off-speed pitches. Some curveballs so far to Puig, trying to slow him down.
Yeah, we've seen Victor do that a lot this season, really relying on more of a breaking ball than just his standard fastball. He's really been getting that breaking ball down and in on these right-handed hitters, and it's really been working out for him to start this season. Look for him to maybe do it again here.
That one just a bit high for ball 3. Yeah, I mentioned it before, I love a good curveball, especially one upstairs in the zone. I find it can fool a lot of batters, but obviously that's a very high-risk, high-reward pitch that you sometimes dabble with, because if batters able to wait on it, they can just crush it. So usually the trick is to have it go a bit lower in the zone, almost fall out of the strike zone. So 3-1 pitch is swung on, grounded over towards shortstop. They'll make the play over towards third. Not in time, though, trying to get LaRue on the tag, but he's quick over there, slides right in.
Well, there was the off-speed you saw right there from Victor Payano, and that one kind of stuck in the zone, kind of hung on Yasiel Puig there. A smart play by Michael Escato to try and get the runner at third. However, you keep this at only 1 out. However, you do still have a double play in order here. Payano really wants to try and keep this ball down, keep it in the infield for as long as possible.
So runner in scoring position, runners on the corners as well. So that one swung on, fouled well off the right side. J.J. Dutton in the box, the right-handed batter. And yeah, I think it would have been tough to make that play on LaRue. Obviously, we were seeing how much distance he was able to get off that second base bag in particular. So he's got a lot of speed. He was looking for opportunities to flash it there. And like I said, too, good play by Escato to at least make the attempt. The 0-1 pitch. That one fouled down the right field side. Looks like Puig was running on the play.
Yeah, and going back to the Escato play as well, it was kind of a jam shot from Puig, as that the breaking ball was really in on his hands, and so it was kind of a slow roller over to Michael Escato. He had to make a quick play. Obviously, Puig is a bit older now, doesn't exactly have the speed he once had.
He would love to prove us wrong here, though, and try and gun it for second on a play with our luck up in the booth sometimes. The 0-2 pitch. That one swung on, grounded over towards Inoa over at second. They'll make the first out at 2, and they'll get the double play. Great effort there. Inoa, Escato, Whittle. Great defense from them there. Able to turn the double play, shut things down. Good effort from the Maple Leafs to try and get something going. But the Majors quick to shut it down, and we are still scoreless heading into the bottom of the first.
Yeah, I did play there. As I said at the start of the at-bat, you want to try and keep this ball down, keep it in the infield, as you had the double play there. Obviously, Puig and Dutton with not the most amount of speed, a combined 3 stolen bases between those two so far this season. So you had the advantage with Inoa and Escato there, as they've just had such great chemistry since Inoa came here from Ottawa. It's just been exceptional to watch from those two. And now, yet their offensive side here, possibly you have Escato, Bernie, and Lenahan as your 3, and Noah as your 4. So he may come into this inning if London can get a couple of base runners on. As you see the numbers for Wilhelmus Alvarado is the 4.12 ERA, the 3 walks per 9. So he's trying to get the command rolling, trying to get his rhythm back in that front. And if he can get that today, that will be big for him and for this Toronto lineup to stay in this ball game against such a hot offense in London.
We'll see how things go. I think obviously this is going to be almost a little bit of a battle of velocity and command in Payano versus breaking and arguably some spicy stuff from these pitches. Obviously, it ends up leading to those inflated walks a little bit, a bit lower strikeout numbers because you're just moving things around a little bit. But I think it will be interesting to watch the back and forth between these two pitchers. Very, very different tendencies on the mound. I think it could make for some interesting stuff.
Yeah, and the issue going against this London lineup is that they're so good seeing the fastball out of the hand of these pitchers, especially against these left-handed pitchers, with how heavily they have these right-handed batters. In this lineup, you have at least 6 every game, so look for them to really go after that fastball. And as they do that, Alvarado will go more into his off-speed stuff, his breaking balls mostly. And if London can force that, then you make your adjustment to that as well. That's how London's able to be so successful and so productive so far this season. So look for that approach today as Michael Escato will start us off.
It's all been working pretty well so far, and what a guy to get things going for the Majors so far this season. Michael Escato, right-handed batter in the box. First pitch to him, called strike, but goes right back to the netting here at Labatt Park.
A man who is a surefire all-star this season, a .419 batting average while playing every game so far this season. Not to mention the power has come into play.
As that one swung on, driven deep over towards right center, and it's well over the fence. So what a way to get the game going. Michael Escato making his presence known. Didn't take a lot of time for him to flex the power today to get the Majors in an early 1-0 lead.
Well, it seems I've done it again here. I just mentioned the power for Michael Escato really coming into play for him. That's home run number 5 on the year, as he's really been amping up his game, as continuing his strong efforts. Had a home run back on Tuesday, had a home run as well back last Sunday, so make that 3 straight games with a home run. That's 4 home runs in the last 5 games for Michael Escato, and that he has just been on fire.
You mentioned it earlier, almost arguably a no-doubt all-star so far this season. Just some impressive numbers, and just didn't want to take a whole lot of time before keeping that rolling into some Friday night baseball in front of the home crowd. So Jared Burney now in the box. He'd love to keep some of that momentum rolling. 0-1 pitch to him. Bit downstairs, evening things at 1-1. And he turned on that. Obviously, Labatt Park, especially over towards center field, is one of the deeper ballparks across the league. And to hit that thing as far as he did, opposite over towards right center, not everyone can do that. It's very, very tough in this league, whether you're a great or a rough batter. It's tough to lock in that power hitting the opposite way, so big shout out to Escato there. How long do you think it'll take before some of these batters start coming up to you asking for mentions in the broadcast because of how much you're just predicting these? Is that one lined right over to the first baseman?
You know, if they watched these and they saw how I was doing this and just the magic I guess I produce while being up here, I'm sure I'll get some of them to come in. Is Trent Lanahan here, another guy who has just been so hot, another surefire All-Star, I'd say. Going into the All-Star break, almost a 390 batting average, a 1,200 OPS.
His numbers have been pretty insane so far this season. First pitch to him in there for a strike. He's hitting for power, he's hitting for contact. Some great stuff defensively as well. Lanahan's been pretty sharp across the board. It's the 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed, strike two. One of the few times today that we're not seeing him over at first base. Obviously a few moves. Koehler and general manager Rup Chandidat wanting to make a few moves to try and get as many right-handed batters on the mound against the lefty Alvarado. So that one swung on over towards right field. It touches the grass in front of Puig over in right. Lanahan, sharp turn over at first, but makes the walk back. So Lanahan keeps things going now. Still just one out in the inning.
Yeah, Trent Lanahan staying hot this season. That will push his batting average above the 390 mark on the year. That's hit number 29 for him. And now another guy who has really shown off the bat here this season is Christian Noah. A 400 average in his first 8 games here in the CBL.
Incredibly sharp so far as that one swung on right between third base and shortstop over towards the left field grass. Lanahan makes the stop over at second, so another base hit for the Majors as they try and keep that momentum rolling.
Yep, and staying sharp here. That's yet another hit. Make that hit number 12 on the season for Christian Noah. And now through your first 4 hitters, 3 of them have gotten on base, and now a bait spot to do damage, and a guy who I'd say is due for a home run is Eduardo Diolio. Only 2 so far this season. Has not hit one back since June 2nd. That was back in Chatham, so really trying to get his power back into it. He's had the contact through this season as they showed a 366 average in all 18 games that he's played for London.
First pitch to him downstairs right in the dirt. And yeah, it's the one big difference for Diolio this season. Obviously, his defense has been sharp. His pickoff throws have been exceptional. His contact has been pretty great as well. It is just that slight missing power, but it doesn't take a whole lot for him to turn on it, start locking things in here. But that being said, still 366 average is nothing to scoff over. As that one swung on, belted right over towards center field. A tough one right in the sun, but Dutton able to make the grab. Great effort from him there. Throw all the way over towards third, holding up the runners. So Lanahan still over at second, and O over at first. Great shot from Diolio there, but I would argue an even better effort from Dutton over in center field to battle the sunshine and make that play.
Yeah, it was a good swing by Eddie as J.J. Dutton was able to track it the whole way. Also, as at second base, Trent Lanahan did kind of think that ball might have been going down a little bit. He was not tagging on the play, so unfortunately, it is still runners on first and second for Starling Joseph, as another guy who's been hot.
First pitch to him in there, called strike. Yeah, that's one of those plays that you almost can't super argue with Lanahan holding and hitting the brakes over at second, because it was a kind of a funky jump from Dutton over in center field. I think even up here we were almost thinking that that was going to drop. It's obviously tough battling the sun at this time of day in particular. So hard for them to almost want to hold up when it looks like it's clearly going to drop. But I Again, just shows the defensive acumen from JJ out there in center.
Yeah, especially on days like this where the sun is completely out, it is going to be difficult for these outfielders, especially the man out in center as the sun coming right at you. And thankfully he was able to kind of block the sun out.
Let's count 1-1 on Joseph as that one swung on. Grounded right between first and second base over towards the grass. Lenahan makes the turn from third. He's going to score. And Noah makes the way over towards third, and a big RBI shot from Starling Joseph to put runners on the corners.
Well, yet another hit so far for London. That's their fourth of the inning, their third single of the inning, and you've already had 6 batters come up. You really you average kind of 6-7 batters here if you're London through the first inning, and continuing their hot streak here.
I cannot believe you made a 6-7
thing. It was not intentional at all. Dylan did that a couple times this past weekend. That was definitely intentional when he did it, because when he did it, he did the hand signal for it as well.
He would. So the Majors really starting to get things in their favor early on. Now a 2-0 lead. Again, runners on the corners, and Noah at third. Joseph over at first, and Zadunik now in the box. First pitch to him swung on and missed. Still 2 outs here. Alvarado just leaving it in some tough spots in the strike zone so far, giving these batters a lot to hit. The 0-1 pitch swung on, grounded over towards second base. They'll make the routine throw over towards first and shut things down, but not until after the Majors have gotten some damage done. Now leading 2-0, hitting the Maple Leafs 4-1. And with that, we will take a quick commercial break. We will be back in just a few moments. Again, you're watching the London Majors taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs right here on Majors TV.
To be the best, you've got to bring performance from every second. The game is getting faster every season. So Rawlings made the time machine to help you keep up. Introducing the all-new Velo ACP. It's light, it's balanced, so you can pick your pitch and drive the ball with maximum exit velocity. The game's gotten faster. Your bat has too.
Get ready, Chatham-Kent. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The league's top talent, all in one place. Watch the full slate of skills competitions, including the popular Home Run Derby on Saturday, and on Sunday, the ultimate 2026 CBL All-Star Game featuring your favorite players for a mid-season showdown. Chatham-Kent, it's our time. The All-Star Weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
Hockey isn't a game, it's a legacy. VMF Sportswear builds custom pro-level jerseys, socks, and apparel, like team hoodies and workout wear. Your colors, your crest, your identity. Create yours now.
Welcome back to Labatt Memorial Park. Entering the second inning, this one between the London Majors and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Again, I'm Justin Koehler, joined by Owen Taylor, Evan Fredrickson down on field level as well. Thank you so much for joining us for some Friday night baseball here at Labatt Memorial Park. What a start to the game so far for the Majors.
Yeah, it's been a great start here for the Majors. You see the 2 runs here in this first inning. It's been a real theme from this London offense from the last couple of weeks, where they really get the offense started early, especially last weekend, where you score 32 runs in 3 games. Obviously, you have to get the offense started right away, and doing it just again right here. Now, all you need to do is get the pitching and defense locked and consistent here, and you get that started here at the top of the second. You have Dalton Connect, Dennis DeBannon, and Jordan Mandalay due up here for Toronto.
So it all gets going with Marcus Connect here. First pitch to him. In there, called strike.
You know, Marcus Connect had a nice game the last time these two teams faced. That was back on June 7th in Christie Pitts. where he went 2 for 4. His last time in this building, however, 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts in the loss. As he's kind of struggled this season. Last season was a really strong one for him, a 358 average and 1100 OPS. This season he's kind of taken a step back, a 232 average, just shy of a 700 OPS.
So that one's fouled down the right side. And tough, especially we've mentioned it. We're a little over a third of the way through the season now here in the 2026 Canadian Baseball League season. So it still is early, but we are really starting to see those consistencies. We're starting to see how these players are hitting. We're seeing how these pitchers are pitching, and we've got a bigger sample size to really start figuring out what the rest of the season is going to look like. Obviously, 232 average for Connect. His power number is a little lower, like you mentioned, than previous seasons. So obviously a little bit to be desired, but we know that he has been a dependable player on this Maple Leafs roster for a few years now. So there's always a chance for him to turn it around, and probably one of the more consistent guys that I would argue would be able to do so in a season at any time. Sometimes it just takes a little bit to connect on that.
Yeah, and he's been one of those guys in this Toronto lineup that's kind of been here the last couple of years. He's really been producing really well throughout these, ever since coming into the league in 2018.
So that one swung on, skied high, a rocket up there. Bernie able to block out the sun, track that one down. So a lot of power in that swing, but quite a lot of lift. And quickly one out here in the top of the second.
And a good pitch from Victor Payano, able to get Connect to get really under that baseball, and thankfully was able to get it into shallow center, where Jarrett Burney, although fighting the sun, was able to make a good play.
I had to face palm myself during that last batter because I accidentally, unintentionally made a Connect pun. And as soon as I said it, I'm like, oh, why did I say it? So in any case, we'll shift things over. Dennis Day-Banning now in the box. First pitch to him was a ball, so sitting with the 1-0 call. Day-Banning batting .310 on the season so far. So that one catches the inner part of the plate. Making it a 1-1 count.
Dennis Day-Banning, the one guy, or one of the guys in this Toronto lineup who was kind of taking a step up from last season. Last season, batting .286 with an .854 OPS. This season, he's bumped it up to a .310 so far with a 1,000 OPS through his first 12 games of this season. Didn't play the last time Toronto was in London, however, did play in their matchup in Toronto, went 1 for 4 in that one. His last game on Wednesday was pretty strong as well, going 2 for 4 with a walk against the Welland Jackfish.
That one a bit outside, doesn't get the call. That one seemed a little close up here, but now a 3-1 count. I will say I'm loving what I'm seeing velocity-wise from Payano so far, especially that mix with the curveball. It looks like these pitches are just darting right to Diolio's glove, the catcher for today. Some good stuff from him as that one swung on. Again, foul down the right side. You're seeing a lot of these batters, the timing is mixed up. It looked like Day-Banning was pretty early on that, or pretty late on that swing in particular, and that comes down to just how much Payano is mixing up these pitches and really keeping them on their toes. So it's impressive stuff so far as he starts off this game against the Maple Leafs. The payoff pitch, 3-2. Swung on and missed. First strikeout of the ball game for Victor Payano. And a quick 2 outs now for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, and you see it right there, just how he's really able to mix up these pitches. He really only has a 2-3 pitch mix. He kind of goes fastball, curveball, sometimes a slider, sometimes a changeup even he'll throw in there. And he's really able to mess with the timing, as you said, and what you saw in that at bat is it's really hard to kind of guess what's coming from Payano. Everything comes from the same arm angle. Kind of starts with the same movement right out of the hand and then kind of halfway through, that's when you kind of get the break on these off-speed pitches. So that's why Victor Payano has been so successful all these years, and he's really kind of gotten the velocity and the movement on those pitches up for this season. The numbers aren't exactly there, however, the production is definitely there for him so far this season.
And there's a reason he's also the pitching coach for the London Majors as well. A whole lot of knowledge, a whole lot of skill as well. 1-1 pitch. Curveball drops into the zone there, making it a 1-2 count. And yeah, for those who don't know, in terms of how a curveball is supposed to look, it's supposed to look like a fastball out of the hands, almost going right towards the batter. And if you want it to drop out, usually probably about halfway, splitting the pitcher and the batter is when it will just take a sharp drop. So out of the hand, if you're doing it right, they should look pretty similar, which is why those two pitches cater so well towards each other. So that one's upstairs, evening things at 2-2. Which is why sometimes you'll see pitchers do a fastball well upstairs out of the zone and then follow that up with a curveball that just drops in, because out of the hand, they'll look pretty identical. They'll look pretty similar until one just suddenly drops out of nowhere on you and catches you off guard. So that one swung on. Able to drift over towards right center, touches the grass. Bernie makes his way over there, but a good single for Jordan Mandoulet.
It was right there as well. As you said, he really likes to work that high and outside fastball and then bring in the breaking ball down and in, almost like a Cliff Lee, that big sweeping curveball from Victor Payano. Thankfully for Jordan Mandoulet, he was kind of sitting on that pitch coming in, was able to get the hands in on the body, force that pitch the other way, and your second base runner of the evening for Toronto.
Mandoulet's going to dart over towards second. Payano the throw over, but a good dive from Mandoulet to get under it. Looks like Escato and Noah might have thought it was pretty close over there, but a good slide. Get another quick look with the instant replay here. Good throw from Diolio. Looked pretty close. Obviously, it's sometimes tough to tell the depth from up here from some of these angles. Looks like he got around it. Again, third base umpire on the call. That's Hayden Moore over there.
Yeah, it was kind of a bang-bang play from Diolio and Noah. You kind of saw in the replay Mandoulet just get the hand in on the bag early, and Hayden Moore saw that. A very clear answer right there for Mandoulet's stolen base.
So runner in scoring position, off-speed pitch to Fabian. Goes right over towards right field into the glove of Tucker Zadunic. Shuts things down. So a runner in scoring position, but no damage done. Majors still hold a 2-0 lead as we push into the bottom of the second. Majors out hitting the Maple Leafs as well, 4-2. A great effort so far for Victor Payano. And one big thing that you might start noticing a little bit more is some foreign substance checks. Obviously, we've had one or two key instances come up so far in the CBL season of foreign substances being used. So expect that to be cracked down on a little bit more. I don't know if it was brand new rules, but I do know that there is a foreign substance rule now in the CBL, and they have actual restrictions on whether it's your first, second, or third time offense. I'd have to double check specifically, but I do believe that if it is a third time offense, which will probably be a little bit before we see that. Hopefully we never see it, but I think on a third offense for foreign substances, you would be out for the entire season and for the following season as well, if I've heard that right. Yeah, don't quote me on that. I probably need to verify it a little bit more, but that was the last thing I heard. But just expect those foreign substance checks to be a little bit more prevalent here in 2026.
We've seen a couple of them already this season. Payano got checked after the first inning. We saw an ejection from it last Saturday when the Majors were in Barrie. Frankie Garces was ejected from the game just after the first inning because of a foreign substance on his glove. And you'll see the CBL start to crack down on it a lot more. As you said, the rule is now implemented. There's a lot more repercussions if you were to get caught for it. So a lot more prevalent here is it's very difficult to kind of tell with how much movement these pitchers have already on these pitches. It's very difficult to kind of configure unless you do get it checked, so look to see that a lot more this season as we will begin the second half of this second inning. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Majors. Adam Thuss and Xavier Whittle. And right back to the top of the order for Michaela Scotto, who started the scoring off for us this afternoon.
So Thuss will kick things off. Getting the start today over in left field. Been pretty impressive as of late. Displayed some incredible power in his last appearance. Probably the furthest hit ball of the ball game when he shot that homer off. And a .375 average, so hard for co-owner General Manager Roop Chandradat to not throw him in the starting lineup at some point. He'd love to keep that momentum rolling. So that one swung on, driven over towards right field. Puig making the play over in right. So an opposite field shot, but one that Puig is able to track over there for the first out of the inning. For the bottom of the inning, I should say.
Yeah, as you said, Adam Thuss has really been swinging the bat well. Is a home run back on Tuesday, a ball that was everyone knew was gone right off the crack of the bat. He's really been swinging well, getting contact on the baseball. Unfortunately, not turning out to be a positive for him on that appearance. However, another guy who's been swinging the bat pretty well to start his rookie campaign is Xavier Whittle, as he is up now. 7 hits in his first 12 games, only 18 at-bats in those 12 games. He's been more of a bench player for Roop Chandradat and his Majors lineup, so he will get the start today. He got the start back last Saturday, unfortunately. Did not only had the one at bat. He was only in for the matchup against Frankie Garces, and after his first inning injection was not needed.
That pitch just a bit inside off the plate, making it a 2-1 count. Yeah, Whittle very much been a pinch hitter in a lot of these situations. We've seen him start the odd game, but not very often. But some good power numbers, as that one's fouled well right. And yeah, some good contact skills, some good clutch skills, I guess I would say. 7 hits so far, but 4 RBIs as well. So he's been pretty sharp and done really, really well in the situations that he's been brought in, especially when the opposing team starts with a right-handed pitcher and they switch things over to a lefty. That's a good opportunity for them to bring Whittle in, and he's just really been capitalizing on it so far.
Yeah, and Roop Chandradat really wants to get Xavier Whittle in the lineup more. He wants to give him as many reps as he possibly can, especially with how productive he's been in those stressful situations so far this season, as he will take his free base. And now a little bit more damage to be done possibly here for the London Majors, as a guy who started the scoring and your best hitter so far, now coming up to the plate in Michael Escato.
So some good plate discipline to force that full count, find a way on base for Whittle, and yeah, like you mentioned, a dangerous part of the lineup. Escato would love to find a way to make it 2 in a row in terms of homers. Obviously, you mentioned that big loud one in the first to get the ball game going. Took him just a couple pitches to get that one out of the park. First pitch for this at-bat in there for a strike.
Yeah, and every time I come to the ballpark, I get the great opportunity to watch Michael Escato's batting practice group. It consists of him, Christian Yanoa, Eduardo D'Elio, and Sterling Joseph, and all 4 hitters are just so confident when they come up to the plate, and even during batting practice as well, you can really see it. All of them have been hitting balls out of the park.
As that one swung on, drilled deep over towards right center, and he's done it again. Back-to-back home runs for Michael Escato, and this one doubles the Majors' lead, putting them up 4-0. What a shot from him.
I mean, he just can't really be stopped to start this season. Make that home run number 6, as that's back-to-back for him. Home run number 6, RBIs number 18 and 19 for Michael Escato, and just like that, 2 more runs coming around here for the London Majors in this inning. It's now a 4-0 ball game as the offense really continues to shine here for this Rip Chanard squad.
Leadoff hitter, power hitter, contact threat, and an obvious all-star. Some great stuff from Michael Liscato so far this season. What a way to get this ball game going for him. And again, another tough act to follow for Jarrett Burney here, who's in the box again. 0 for 1 so far in this one. Lined right to the first baseman in the first inning. So that one swung on, grounded over towards the shortstop. Not able to come with it cleanly. So Burney finds his way over towards first. LaRue just took a little bit of a funky hop on him. Rolled right off his glove. We'll see how that ends up being ruled here. From the looks of it, it's been ruled as an error on LaRue. I think it's a tough call. Obviously, I think that was hit pretty well by Burney. I think a little bit faster, and maybe that goes into a hit rather than an error. But in any case, the Majors keep things rolling. And another home run threat in Trent Lanahan in the box. So that one's downstairs, ball 1.
I would not be surprised to see Jared Burney maybe try and take second base here. He already has 6 stolen bases on the year and really has the speed to get it.
So he took a little bit of a break for a second as that one's grounded over towards third. They'll make the throw towards second, but they'll only get the one. So fielder's choice for Lanahan. Looks like they might have been thinking about the hit and run, but it looked like Burney almost held up for a split second. So he'll be out, the second out of the inning now.
Yeah, it was kind of a slow roller towards Fabian over there at third base, and his throw to second was in a pretty good spot for Mandalay to make a play. However, Burney really coming in hard on that bag, and Mandalay having to kind of step out of it, unable to make the double play. So now this inning continues for Christian Inoa, who already has a single in this ball game.
Great opportunity to keep things rolling here. Inoa have been pretty sharp so far this season. Second pitch to him, swung on, drilled over towards left center. It's going to touch the grass. Lanahan rounds second. He's on his way over towards third. And Owen will hold up over at first, and that'll put runners on the corners and keep things right a-rolling for the London Majors.
Well, right away, you already have 2 multi-hit games for 2 different Majors players. You've had all 4 in your starting lineup to get on base. The first 4 in your starting lineup to get on base at least once already. Again, another situation here for Eduardo Diolio, with 2 men on base trying to bring a run home. Was unable to last time, lining out to J.J. Dutton out in center. As I keep saying, as I'll continue to say, is Eduardo Diolio is really due for a big swing here.
I think if there was anyone who would say that more, it would be Diolio himself, especially coming with those 2 homers already in this game. He would love to contribute, ready for what could be some pretty wicked swings from him on this one. So that one's fouled right back.
And there was one of those wicked swings. Eduardo Diolio is so strong. The bat, which is usually like a 30-ounce bat, he makes it look like 15 ounces. It doesn't look heavy at all when he's swinging, and especially in batting practice as well. And how confident he is about half of the baseballs that he's hitting are going over this left field fence.
So that one catches the inner part of the plate. I would argue no one on this roster can turn on it better than Eduardo Diolio. Maybe Cleveland Brownlee a little bit. He'll still take the odd BP every so often, and he can still absolutely crush them.
Starlin Joseph as well. I was watching him last weekend. He sent them over the trees over there as well. That was really impressive.
So that one swung on, grounded right over towards the third baseman. Great dive. They'll make the throw over towards second. Great effort from Fabian over at third to make that one. Great defensive stop from him. But the Majors get more damage done. A 2-run shot off the bat of Michael Liscato to start trying to blow things open here. The Majors have a 4-0 lead. With that, we'll take a quick commercial break. We will be back in just a few moments. You're watching the London Majors taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs right here on Majors TV.
When we're together, amazing things happen. Feel what it means to be greater together.
Get ready, Chad.
And welcome back to Labatt Memorial Park. London Majors currently holding a 4-0 lead over the Toronto Maple Leafs. A great effort so far. Victor Payano been sharp on the mound. Obviously, Michael Escato. A couple big flashy home runs for him. Flash in the defensive side as well. Yeah, what an effort from him. Hard not to already have him in not just all-star discussions, but I guess player of the game discussions if we want to jump the gun a little bit. But what a way to get a good ball game going for the Majors.
Yeah, it's a great start here for London, as they've just been on it from the get-go. As Toronto really needs to try and take their step, really try and get back into this ball game, as trying to find their exciting times as the baseball club. However, the Toronto Maple Leafs hockey team might have found theirs not too long ago with Gavin McKenna going first overall.
Obviously an exciting night in the hockey world. A lot of futures being decided here. Yeah, Gavin McKenna, I don't think anyone argued that he was going to be the #1 pick today. Absolutely no one is shocked. But we'll see how things turn around and change for the other Maple Leafs, as you kind of pointed out there. But obviously we're focusing on the other Maple Leafs here so far, as that one's grounded right over to Payano. Just gets into his glove, makes the throw towards first. Not in time. That one had quite a lot of air time before it made it to Payano's glove, so it would have been a tough play over at first, but a great hustle from Fabian to get there.
Yeah, that was just a high chopper. That was Matt Brandt.
These mats are going to confuse me.
the double mat 8 and 9 is going to be very tough, as the infield single for Matt Brand will bring up Brando LaRue now. He singled his first time up, was the first base runner for the Leafs, so he will get his second chance against Victor Payano. Drove a fastball up the middle his last time.
Again, LaRue been one of the bright spots so far for the Maple Leafs. We're really trying to find more and more of those bright spots, as many as they can. Again, this is a battle between first and last right now, so the Leafs would love to try and make a statement if they could, but currently down as LaRue squares to bunt there. Yeah, a bit of a tough tale so far for the Maple Leafs, but yeah, they would love to try and get a win against the #1 team in the Maple Leafs, really turn things around. Get momentum going, not just for this game in particular, but I think something like that would be a good statement to get morale up for the rest of the roster, the rest in the dugout as well. Maple Leafs itching for a big win this season. 0-1 pitch just a bit outside, evening things at 1-1.
Yeah, really trying to get some high hopes here through this season. There are 3 wins coming. The first one was the home opener back on May 10th against the Kitchener Panthers, and one of their wins coming against Toronto. That was on June 7th, and their third and final win to date back on June 12th against Kitchener Panthers as well. So they have a bit of a tougher schedule coming into this. You have Chatham-Kent on Sunday, Welland on Canada Day, Barrie next Friday, so some big competition if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs to try and get something going here.
So that one's drilled over towards center, but an easy one for Jared Burney out there to make it 1 out here in the top of the third. And stuff, yeah, you mentioned those wins against Kitchener, the Panthers there. They're also having some tough times right now. I know they're 1 for their last 10 after what was a pretty hot start to the season. So a couple tough teams trying to dig for some momentum so far. Obviously, the Maple Leafs in that mix. One team that has struggled a bit less has been the Majors so far. They've been red hot, especially when it comes to the bats. Quite a lot of flashy games so far, and already putting another tick on that list so far in today's game. So that one almost looked like a check swing foul.
Yeah, and you just look through this London lineup, and there's just so much excitement in it. You know, you have couple of guys batting 400. You have a lot of guys batting over 350. You have almost half your lineup just batting 300 in general. Your only guys batting below 250, are David Dreyers, Ryder Hancock, Roberto Caro. And those are your only three. Roberto Caro we haven't seen in a couple months as well. So you have most of your lineup in that 250, kind of 300 spot, and then you have your big guys like Escato and Noah, Lenahan, and Diolio who are above that 350 mark. So much excitement within this London lineup, and most of it really comes to how many fans come into this ballpark. You have such a loyal fan base here in London, whether it's the London Knights or the London Majors, and you get these fans that will come to every game and come to support. You'd rarely have any empty seats here in this beautiful Labatt ballpark.
And great pitch there from Payano to get the strikeout. Again, flashing that curveball, some impressive velocity changes, keeping these batters on their toes. And yeah, you mentioned it right there. London, obviously, an incredible sports town across the board. Obviously, you've got the Mustangs, the Falcons, you've got the Majors, the Knights, the Beefeaters. There's so many great teams here in London to root for, whatever sport you cheer for as well. So Yasiel Puig back in the box. First pitch to him swung on, drilled deep over towards right field, but right over to Sedunik in right. Come up with it cleanly there. Great effort from Payano so far. Really shutting down these Maple Leafs batters. Some hard contact, but nothing too deep. The Majors still holding a 4-0 lead, out hitting the Maple Leafs 6-3 as well.
Yeah, it really has been a good start here. Victor Payano has given up 9 in his last 2 starts. That was through 11 innings, 6 innings against the Welland Jackfish, 5 against the Kitchener Panthers back on the 19th of June. Really getting his game stepped up here, is trying to continue that throughout this ballgame.
So while I have the chance, let's throw things down to our third member of our broadcast crew, Evan Fredrickson, down on field level. Evan, what do you got for us?
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much. One of the big reasons why the Majors have been so successful this season has been their ability to hit with runners in scoring position. Now, this wasn't the case in Chatham on Tuesday. They were just 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position, leaving 8 men on base. Now, obviously, each game is not going to be perfect, but I guarantee you guys, Roop Charnat has got to love this start from his team here this evening. Working good at bat, showing some power, and obviously having that Starling Joseph single in the first with a man in runners in scoring position. Guys.
Thanks, Evan. Some great points there as usual. Obviously, one of the many bright spots for the Majors so far this season. Hard to pinpoint just one bright spot so far. I know, especially with this being the first ever CBL season, the Canadian Baseball League, after it shifted over from the Inter-County Baseball League. So many new faces, so many new people, a lot of question marks going in, and I know us up here in the booth, Roop Chandrat, the players on the field, and more particularly the fans at home will be incredibly happy with how this Majors roster has done so far this season so far.
Yeah, and you just look at the numbers, you're either first or you're second in all these hitting categories. You have some of the best pitching in the league. Not to mention you have some of the best defense in the league as well. You're second in fielding percentage with a 97.6% fielding percentage. You only have 16 errors on the year. That's good for second. Only Hamilton is ahead of them with 9. As just looking through this London lineup, you have so many stats that you're in the top 2 of, and you really continue that all throughout. And talking to Roop Chanada as well earlier in the game, and even last week, your interview with him in the clubhouse conversation, he's so pleased with how consistent this lineup has been, both on the offensive side and the defensive side. You don't see a lot of mistakes coming from them in really any point of these ball games. That's why they've won so many games, and there's always a reason you're going to be in a top spot in this league if you continue to do just the small things correctly, and in continuing to do that, you know you're going to have that great success going through all the way to eventually the postseason.
It's the count even on Joseph, who's in the box. 1-1 here. Next pitch to him, but outside ball 2. And yeah, to your point there, I think one of the biggest impacts for this Majors roster so far this year has been, of course, what's been going on the field. But I think everything off the field is a big indicator as well. Everyone that I've talked to has pointed to just how united this team is and how great the chemistry is across the board, whether that be the pitchers, the position players as well, as that one's a bit outside, making it a 3-1 count. And it really just, when you're meshing and gelling well off, that impacts everything on the field as well. Ends up coming in little things, whether that's being able to turn a quick double play, trusting the defense behind you. It all comes through in some way, shape, or form. Joseph forces a walk here, finds his way on base.
Yeah, going back on your point there, there's just so many characters in this lineup, or just this roster in general, that can bring such great energy to this clubhouse and to the field every day. And I'm going to mention Roop Chanderdat, what Roop Chanderdat said in your conversation last week as well with him, is he it's just the simple things in this. And in the end, it's a kid's game. It's, you want to have fun while playing. You want to have that excitement.
Zadunik squares to bunt. Thrown out over at first, but does exactly what he wanted to do. Joseph now over at second base. That was one of my favorite quotes from Roop Chanderdat, was how it's a kid's game. It's so important to have fun with everything you're doing, and how big of a ripple effect that can have throughout the entire lineup, especially in the dugout as well. If you're not having fun, that ends up translating in some way, shape, or form. The Majors certainly have a lot of fun so far. So Adam Thuss now in the box with 1 out in the inning.
A little bit of action in the Toronto bullpen. That is Yadian Martinez you are seeing over there.
So we'll see how many more pitches Alvarado gets in this one. Thuss swings and misses.
As London hasn't really got to his pitch count all that much, only through 2 1/3, has thrown 44 pitches so far, so he's thrown a decent amount. We'll see if he will continue. If he has a strong third inning, maybe possibly a fourth and a fifth to come possibly.
Thuss grounds that over towards the pitcher, makes the wide throw to first. It goes wide. Hits off the fence. Joseph able to score. Thuss rounding second. He's on his way to third on the play. A diving stop, and what could have been an out over at first to advance Joseph ends up turning into yet another run to widen this league, and Adam Thuss standing over at third base.
Well, an unfortunate series of events. You have Alvarado going to field that ball. You also had Matt Fabian kind of trailing over to his left to get that. Didn't cover the third base bag, as you had Starling Joseph on his way to third. And kind of a desperation throw over to first from Wilhannes Alvarado that gets away from the first baseman Tavares. And now you have Joseph coming around the store for your 5th run of the ball game. You have another runner just 90 feet away for the possible 6th run with Xavier Whittle, who walked his first time up and again has been swinging a pretty hot bat throughout this season. So look for him to try and get something over this infield, who is playing right on the edge of the grass here and trying to bring home run number 6 for London.
Whittle skies that one over towards the second base side, but not able to come up with it cleanly. Mandalay not able to track it in the sun. An awkward play for him, and Adam Thuss will come around to score. The Majors, the 3rd inning in a row of getting 2 runs, now up 6-0.
Starting to be a real theme here of just getting 2 runs in, and now a single for Whittle that will bring home RBI number 5 for him on this season. Now Michael Escato, do you think he can do it again?
Oh, I'm not a betting man. You know, I don't know if I would. I'm so terrified of the broadcaster jinx that I would love for him to, but I also don't want to get the blame for it. But a big position for him, a great opportunity. Again, the Majors already up 6-0, 7 hits on the game so far.
If you want, you can just put the blame on me for it if it does happen. As I've been around all of it so far.
See, I don't think I've got the same magic as you to either predict it or will it into existence like you do. Next one fouled. Well hit, but well over the fans here in attendance. You can definitely tell what Escato was wanting to do. That was a pretty good hack at that swing. You know exactly what's on his mind. Would love to make it 3 in a row.
Well, he comes into every game just so confident. Day in and day out, you know that he's going to come to try and do whatever he can.
So that one's grounded over towards the shortstop. Not able to come up with it cleanly again, so Whittle able to get to second safely. And what I can expect will be ruled another error on LaRue over at second. A tough one for him to pick up cleanly. So, not a home run, but still finds another way on base.
It's not the magic didn't show up for that one, unfortunately, but does still turn out to be a positive result for the London Majors. It's already the 3rd error from Toronto today, the 2nd from Brando LaRue, and now you still only have 1 out in the inning and 2 runners on, one that has a ton of speed over at first base, so anything into the gap from either Bernie or Lenahan here can possibly drive in at least 1 run, possibly 2 if it gets all the way to the wall. Michael Escato, one of those guys that is in the top 5 for stolen bases. He's one of the only players in the league who has double-digit stolen bases so far this season, and which is how strong everybody's been here. It would not be a surprise to see at least 1 run come around to score here, or at least another run to come around to score in this inning.
So again, 1 out. The Majors holding a 6-0 lead. Whittle over at second. Escato over at first. Like you mentioned there, a big opportunity for Jared Burney. It's 0 for 2 so far. Lined out back in the first and got on via an error from LaRue back in the second. So would love to get his first base hit of the game. So it looks like he squares to bunt. That one a bit too far inside, though, down the third base line. Let's see what he's thinking there. I wouldn't be shocked if that might have just been to try and draw Fabian in, the third baseman, a little bit. Try and get a little blooper over his head. Potential cashing in Whittle on a play like that.
Yeah, and Jared Burney has not really had a lot of opportunities to bring in RBIs. Only has 9 RBIs on the year, his last one coming way back on June 19th. He only has, he still has 6 here in the month of June. He only had 3 in the month of May, so kind of getting more scoring opportunities. He's been more in the 7 spot of this lineup, the 8 spot of this lineup. He's starting in the 2nd spot for today, so a big jump for him to maybe get another run scoring opportunity.
The 1-2 pitch swung on, a little dribbler over towards the third baseman, Fabian. Quick throw over towards first, gets him in time for the 2nd out of the bottom of the 3rd. Still advances those runners there, so Whittle now moves up to 3rd. Escato over at 2nd.
How about that arm on Matt Fabian right there? Only beat the speedy Bernie by about half a step. However, it is a good spot for Toronto where you have the 2 outs. You know an out will end this. However, anything to the outfield and you may be sitting at 8-0 down.
Tough not having the force around the bases as well. Both runners in scoring position, first base open. But another power threat in the box, Trent Lenahan.
Yeah, if I were Toronto right now, I would not be trying to get a force to any base. So you wouldn't give Lenahan the free bag, even though how hot he's been. You still have the issue of Christian and Noah right behind him. So
that's
obviously a tricky spot here for. Sorry for interrupting you. A bit of a tricky spot here for Toronto with the first half of this order being so strong. And anyways, now what were you going to say?
That's the difficulty that comes with such a deep lineup. Is there's so much power, so much contact, top to bottom in this entire roster. Because you get through Escato, you got Bernie. You get through Bernie, you got Lenahan. You get through Lenahan, you got a Noah. And then Diolio, Joseph. It's just power hitter after power hitter, and it's so difficult to counter if you are any opposing team, really. So great effort. Obviously, Roop Chandradad valuing that versatility. Loves the similar makeup, whether that be lefty or righty from a lot of these batters. As the 0-2 pitch swung on, hit over towards right field. A few people moving in on it. Second baseman Mendeley not able to make it happen there. That'll drive in both runners there. Whittle gets in. Escato gets in on the play there. A bit of an awkward bit of timing there. Quite a lot of hang and 2 outs, allowing those runners to just dart around the bases. But another little bit of miscommunication, tough defense, whether that's the sun impacting it or not for the Maple Leafs. A bit of a tough go for them so far as the Majors in the 3rd inning now lead 8-0.
Yeah, another tough one right there. It's another jam shot on the hands of Lenahan. He just kind of blooped that over the second baseman, and now we will see a pitching change here. So that is the day done for Wilhelmus Alvarado. Unfortunately, kind of puts Toronto in a tough spot here in the 3rd inning. Sorry, what were you going to
say? You can finish your point if you want. I'm going to throw it to commercial break whenever you're done.
No, that is okay. I can mention it afterwards.
And so with that, we will take a quick commercial break as we make a pitching change here. You're watching London Majors Baseball right here on Majors TV.
Get ready, Chatham Kents. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The All-Star weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
Nether's blank and stock metals deliver impact without compromise. Fully customizable with UV full color printing or 3D printing to showcase your logo, event name, or design. 1- or 2-sided printing available. Some stock metals have a recessed area for adding plates for divisions, names, and more. Each metal includes a stock neck ribbon or upgrade to a custom ribbon with your branding. Just allow for lead time. Versatile, customizable, affordable.
Explore your options at Nuthers.com or call 1-800-265-1554.
Smoke alarms expire after 10 years. Check the date and test your smoke alarm today.
A working smoke alarm is a gift the whole family can enjoy.
Follow us online at LDNONT Fire.
And we're back at Labatt Memorial Park. Majors currently ahead 8-0 so far in this one. A pitching change on the mound for the Maple Leafs. Yadier Martinez now in the game to take things over from Wilhelmus Alvarado.
Yeah, tough one for Alvarado. He only goes 2 2/3 innings, giving up 8 runs, unfortunately. I'm not sure how many were earned and how many were unearned because of those 3 errors. However, Yadier Martinez is now into this ball game and has struggled so far. He started every game he has played through this season, so 5 starts for him. His first time out of the bullpen this season. Bit of a struggle, 1-4 on the year with a 9.26 earned run average. That's 24 earned runs in his 23 1/3 innings pitched. His first time this season facing the Majors. He's faced the Panthers, the Cardinals twice, the Jackfish, and the Baycats. So he has had a bit of a difficult start to the year, looking to turn that around. He's usually a kind of a low 4 ERA pitcher. He was the last 3 years for the Kitchener Panthers. So look for him to try and get back to that form for this season. He faces Christian Inoue here, who has singled twice today.
3-1 count on Inoue so far. Alvarado will end his day with 5 earned runs, 8 runs total. 8 hits, 2 walks in the ball game as well. So tough one for him. The defense didn't help him out as much as they could have so far. Like you mentioned, Martinez will look to turn things around. It's 2 outs, but still a runner on and a dangerous batter in Inoue. That one swung on, absolutely turned on. Bit early on it, so it's well foul. Another souvenir for a happy fan here at Labatt Memorial Park.
Yeah, he really turned on that ball. That was a hard one, and now we'll go 3-2 again. Maybe looking for another fastball here from Martinez.
That one just a bit upstairs, ball 4. That one looked a little close. Martinez took his time off the mound. Looked like he might have disagreed with the call there. You can see him shaking his head a bit there as well.
Yeah, he definitely wanted that call. It wasn't. It was a front door breaking ball thrown to Inoue. It was just about a half an inch to an inch off the plate, and so now for a third time today, Eduardo Diolio has 2 men on base.
Another big opportunity for the majors here. Would love to keep things going. One thing on the mind of Diolio, a big hefty swing at that one upstairs. Strike 1.
Do I try and call it this time, or do I think I think this time I'll just leave it as it is. Eduardo Diolio he kind of switched it up a little bit. This is a different bat than when he used his last 2 appearances.
We'll see if that's the difference maker for him. Sometimes just trying to take an ounce or 2 off the bat, depending on who's you're using, the makeup of it, how big the barrel is, can make a bit of a difference on the swing. Obviously, you don't want to lose those fundamentals in your swing, so sometimes something minute like a bat change or batting gloves, anything like that can make a slight difference.
Yeah, and Eddie is one of those kind of superstitious guys a little bit. Even earlier this game, he had the yellow sleeve, which he wears to most games. He's not wearing that in this plate appearance, or the bat change, the glove change for him as well. He really likes to kind of switch things up if things aren't going his way, and that's kind of his way of trying to kind of regrouping, calming himself down, and just trying to find the right way to do this. Is
that one downstairs? They checked the swing, but he did not go. Check back with first base umpire Matthew Kinnett down there. And yes, I don't know how many people at home have spent a good chunk of time around baseball players, but a very superstitious bunch across the board. You'll see a lot of players doing something similar, whether that be using like the same glove for years and years. As Diolio pops that one well high, Yasiel Puig coming in, makes the play. So they get the third out, but a whole lot of damage done so far for the Majors. We're through 3, Majors up 8-0 so far. And as we get ready to shift into the 4th, we will take another quick commercial break. You're watching the London Majors taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs right here on Majors TV.
Stand out this season with the Jersey Acrylic Trophy, starting at just $15.95. Fully customizable with your team's logo, colors, and player details, and double-sided for twice the impact. A custom plate can be attached to the base for personalized engraving on each trophy. Great for player recognition. Ideal for keeper awards, participation trophies, or end-of-season celebrations. Order yours today at Nuthers.com or call 1-800-265-1554.
Let me into my zone. my zone. Please don't let me
Can't answer my phone now, just leave it there, that tone. Ballin', can't beat me up, cause I'm back in my zone now. Cause I'm back in my zone now.
Get ready, Chatham Kents. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The All-Star weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
Make a bold statement with the champ chain.
It's really hard not to cheer for that kid being carried around right now.
And we're back here at Labatt Memorial Park. One of the most fun times going around the diamond here as the kids running the bases. Come on, go, you're almost there. You're almost there.
We may have to appeal this.
Oh, and we'll round up. Close enough. What a great run from the kids here. Obviously, one of the great opportunities to have these kids here at the ballpark. Look how into it Payano's getting. He's so excited out there on the mound. Always a great race, a great time.
From all of our base runners.
One of the spectacular opportunities to get the family out here at Labatt Memorial Park. Always a fun time, a list of events. Today was ladies' night at the ballpark as well, so there was some wine, some coolers, some yoga here as well. I think Forrest has some pink suspenders on today, if I saw correctly. So there's always a whole lot of fun, something to always do, something to get into some trouble here at Labatt Memorial Park. Always a ton of fun. Be sure to check us out here whenever you get an opportunity. But in any case, always love having you here as well on the broadcast, whether that's on Majors TV or on CBL TV as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, Justin Koehler, joined by Owen Taylor on the broadcast. Evan Fredrickson down on field level. We hear from him again a little bit later. Happy to have you here with us. As Payano is still warming up on the mound for another inning. Would love to know where you're from, particularly if you're watching on Majors TV on YouTube. Always love seeing where we're getting some viewers, whether that be across Canada, the continent, internationally as well. Always love support. I know the fans and the players always love seeing where everyone is tuning in from. So happy to have you here regardless. Again, the Majors up 8-0 so far, out hitting the Maple Leafs 8-3 as well. The Maple Leafs back in the box. They're sending J.J. Dutton into the box. Again, the right-handed batter. First pitch to him in there for a called strike. Dutton again batting .375 on the season. 0 for 1 in the ball game so far. Grounded into a double play his first time up back in the first. So that one's a bit up and away. Ball one, evening the count. So Payano looking pretty sharp so far. 49 pitches through 3 innings of work. The 1-1 pitch swung on, hit over towards right center field. The right fielder Zadunik able to get to it in time for the first out of the inning.
Another nice start to the inning here for the Majors. Tucker Zadunik able to use his speed right there, get over into that right center gap and make the play.
Definitely a tale of two different teams here. The Majors doing well defensively, pitching offensively. The Maple Leafs almost just seem a little bit disjointed as well. So sometimes it's a bit tough just to get the momentum rolling. We mentioned it a bit earlier on how there's so many good pieces in this Maple Leafs roster. A few in the pitching side, a few in the offensive side. They do have their great defensive flashes as well, but it is just getting it all in sync at the same time. It's easier said than done for a lot of these teams, and it does look like the Maple Leafs are in a bit of a tough spot. As a great stop over at third base, that long throw over towards first. What an impressive show from the regular first baseman, now over at third for today's game. Trent Lanahan, what a stop from him.
Trent Lanahan using his first base, still to get over to his right-hand side, make the play there, and of course the strong arm, which you don't usually see from first baseman. However, Trent Lanahan is kind of able to play anywhere on this field for this Majors team. You see it right there with the cold rope the frozen rope all the way over to first.
First pitch to DeBanning. Skied high. Whittle, the first baseman, drifting over, but that one makes its way foul. And yeah, Lenahan over at third is another great display of the versatility. I feel like that's the word of the year for the majors. Versatility across the lineup here so far. Having players able to move around. Obviously, we mentioned it a bit earlier. Roop Chandradat wanting to mix Xavier Whittle into the lineup a little bit more. So a great way for him to do that is to throw him at first. And if Lenahan, the usual first baseman, is able to play a different position, whether that be third, some outfield here and there. It just adds to what this team can do, how they can move things around, how they can keep their arms fresh, their players consistent and solid, and getting them some good play time as well, particularly when they're deserving it, like someone like Whittle as well.
Yeah, that's what's so good about this London lineup. You have so many guys that are kind of listed as utility guys. They're able to play everywhere. We've seen that early on in this season. You have Trent Lenahan, who's played first and third so far. You have Jaden Babiak, who's played third and both the corner outfield spots as well. Adam Thuss, who's played left field and will come in for relief of Eduardo Diolio for sometimes. And just how good this lineup is. They're able to really kind of move everybody around. You don't exactly know what to expect with this lineup because of, again, how versatile they are.
Makes it tough for the other team to try and keep up with, but also keeps the players on their toes as well. Like you mentioned there, that was a long throw from Trent Lenahan that we do not see from him very often. Usually over at first, you don't really throw a whole lot from first base, so good to keep his skills sharp by moving around, and an impressive spot moving as pretty much as far as possible on the infield. Count now moving up on DeBanning. It was 0 for 1 so far, a strikeout victim back in the second. Payano getting set on the mound, 2 outs. That one swung on. Hit well, but a lot of lift on it. Tucker Zadunik making his way over. Has to shuffle back, able to come up with the grab in right. A tough play for him there. Obviously, players still battling a little bit of the sunshine, but flashes the athleticism, able to make the grab. The Majors shut things down, still leading 8-0.
Yeah, that's one that he just kind of lost for a split second, kind of overran it, as you saw in the replay there. Good ability to track it down, but by the time it came down to him and make the play moving back behind him, as you look at our out-of-town scoreboard in Brantford, the Red Sox have a big lead over the Chatham Barnstormers. They lead by 7 in the top of the 4th, and then heading over to Bernie Arbor Stadium, the Kitchener Panthers, who have been trying to get their team back in the right order after their hot start to the year. They have a good start here tonight with a 3-0 lead over the Hamilton Cardinals.
Again, love the technological advances over here on Majors TV. A big shout out to our director, producer, Keegan, is just doing some amazing work behind the scenes. Love seeing that out-of-town scoreboard, the graphics. He's a madman. I don't know how many people I know his work ethic and his acumen, but has just been so sharp helping us out behind the scenes on the broadcasting side. Hope everyone at home is appreciating all the hard work going in from the volunteers and the hard workers here on Majors TV and at the ballpark in general. None of this is possible without them, so loving how sharp these broadcasts have been, the quality so far. Yeah, really hope you're appreciating it at home as well.
Yeah, we have so many hardworking people that contribute to these broadcasts. As you said, Keegan, our director and producer, has just brought in so much new technology into these broadcasts. He's brought in a whole bunch of stats and kind of overlays that we love to add on to this, not to mention a replay system working in fruition here.
So it looks like we're seeing some arguments down on the Maple Leafs side back and forth, disagreeing with I'd assume some of the calls early on, some disagreements here as well. Still some shouting back and forth. I don't believe anyone has been thrown out as of yet. Still in the game. We'll keep you posted if anything changes on that front. But yeah, definitely just a bit of a disagreement. And now out of the ball game. Big arm movement there from home plate umpire and crew chief Steve Cochran.
Have we been able to identify who has been tossed? Was it the... It looks like it was one of the coaches for this Toronto team.
We'll get you some details when we can in this one, but yeah, obviously tensions flaring on the Maple Leafs side. Down 8-0 in this one. Some calls not going their way, some defensive mix-ups as well in the mix, so definitely easy for some of those tensions to start flaring up. Joseph takes a ball.
So that was actually Brian Sewell, one of the assistant coaches on this Toronto staff, and one of the base coaches for Toronto as well. So he is now out of this ball game, as the kind of the frustration starting to set in for this Maple Leaf lineup.
As Joseph takes that one, count now 2-1. And yeah, it's tough for those tensions not to flare, not just in the short perspective of this game, but the season as a whole. Obviously, the Maple Leafs sitting in last place in the 9-team league in the CBL, so a lot of that adds up as that one's grounded right up Main Street, right up the middle over towards center field, so a base hit for Starling Joseph. Gets the inning going back in the Majors' direction once again, adding to the hit column. 8 runs so far in the ballgame, 9 hits as well.
Yeah, 9 hits for the first 4 innings. That's already your third hitter who has a multi-hit game. I'm sorry, fourth hitter who has a multi-hit game so far in this one. You have Escato, Linehan, Inoa, and now Starling Joseph getting into that group. And as you said, that the frustration really setting in for Toronto. They made a lot of kind of big moves in the offseason. You have Yasiel Puig, you have Yadian Martinez, you have so many of these guys that you brought in for this season. You wanted to see improvements from last year, and that was kind of what everyone expected from this Maple Leaf team. However, a bit of a setback from last season. They're last in this 9-team lead, so trying to kind of get back on the right foot here, trying to regroup everybody for the last 2/3 of this season. And
so that one's on the outside part of the plate for Zadunik.
a little different this season with the new playoff format, so you need to be 5th to move on. The bottom 4 teams will be eliminated.
I love the competitiveness that updated playoff format adds in this league. For those who don't know, when it was the Intercounty Baseball League, 8 of the 9 total teams made in. This year it's just 5 with a kind of wild card game mixed in there as well. So it keeps things interesting. We were talking pretty early on how important those early games in the season were and how they would be to these teams' successes. So we may be a third of the way through, but these games are incredibly important. Still plenty of baseball to play, but each one carries its own separate weight. And Zadunik able to force a full count. He works a walk here, and that puts 2 on. Still none out here in the bottom of the 4th.
And not to mention so many teams that have played less games than some others. We've had a lot of postponements this season due to weather. You have Toronto, who's only played 15. You have Hamilton, who's only played 15. You have Brantford, who's only played 16. You have 4 of the 9 teams who have played 18. You have the Welland Jackfish, who have played the most so far with 19. They're just a game and a half back of that top spot. And yeah, let's through this. In Toronto, although they've struggled, they're still only 8.5 games back of the lead in the league. Only 5 games back of that last playoff spot. So for the next, you still have about 30 games to play for this season, and you're still in contention if you're any of those bottom 4 teams. So
things can always turn as quickly as a swing of the bat in this league. Doesn't take a whole lot of time for a last place team to inch their way forward. But it all comes with a win day by day by day. And the Maple Leafs not in a great spot here so far against the London Majors. Again, down 8-0.
And that's the thing about baseball. There's the big consistency in it with.
So that one's grounded just off the glove of the third baseman. Picks it up though. Long throw towards first. So a slight bobble from Fabian over at third, but able to turn it around for the out over at first. Joseph able to advance over towards third. Zadunik able to go to second. So 2 runners now in scoring position, 1 out in the inning. That'll turn things over to the bat of Xavier Whittle. 1 for 1 so far. A walk back in the second and a single in the third. RBI 2 runs on the evening as well. So the Majors once again in a spot to tack on a few runs. First pitch to Whittle in there for a strike in the lower part of the plate. So the Majors scored 2 runs in the first, 2 runs in the second, 4 runs allowed inning back in the third. Looking to keep it rolling here. Big swing and miss from Whittle there. So as the evening's progressing, it looks like the entire field is now covered in some shade. The sun getting pretty low. Those lights turned on at Labatt Memorial Park as well. Still a pretty lovely day for some Friday night baseball. That one catches the plate. Strike 3 called. Martinez gets his first strikeout. First strikeout of the night for the Maple Leafs so far as well, for the Maple Leafs pitching staff.
Yeah, big out there for the Leafs. Obviously, as you said, your first strikeout of the night with that pitch that Whittle thought was a little bit low and away, as he will get run up on it. Now you have Michael Escato. Already has 3 RBIs today, trying to make that number even larger here as you have 2 in scoring position.
Loud night for him so far as that one swung on, skied high. The first baseman moving back for it. Able to make the play. That's Tavares there. So no damage done the first inning for the Majors with a 0 on the board. Still up 8-0, out hitting the Maple Leafs 9-3 as well. As we get ready to shift into the top of the 5th, we will take another quick commercial break here. You're watching the London Majors taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs right here on Majors TV.
Make a bold statement with the Champ Chain, the ultimate award for champions. At 5 to 6 inches wide, this eye-catching metal is built to impress, fully customized with your logo and cut to shape. From the court to the boardroom, this award brings energy and attitude to every celebration. Great for recognizing your MVPs, players of the game, or hardest worker. Level up your recognition game with the Champ Chain. Order yours today at nothers.com or call 1-800-265-1554.
Everyone dreams of being great. Only a select few can be iconic. But only one is chosen. Introducing the Chosen One from Rawlings. The all-new one-piece composite iteration of the top-rated and established Icon BB Core bat.
We're back at Labatt Memorial Park. A lovely evening here in London, Ontario. Look at that bright moon out there as we start shifting into the later hours here on this Friday. But what a game it's been so far for the Majors. Up 8-0 so far. Payano looking sharp on the mound. The Majors offense looking pretty great. A few mix-ups so far from the Maple Leafs. 3 errors on the evening so far, all contributing to that 8-0 lead that we've been seeing. Still plenty of ball game left. We're just through 4. Funny enough, we're just entering the 5th inning in this one. It's been a lengthy game, especially with all those hits, those runs from the majors. Just keeping things running. Always having base runners so far in every inning. A pretty clean one so far from them. Maple Leafs would love to try and get any momentum back swinging in their direction, and they'll have a chance here.
Yeah, London's just kind of stuck to their game plan here, be real aggressive on both sides, and Victor Payano has played a really big part for that. He 4 scoreless so far, has only given up the 3 hits, so he has improved from his last couple of starts, trying to keep that 0 there for as long as he can before we move over to the bullpen. And now, one thing I want to say, in between the top and bottom of the 4th inning,
someone's grounded to Escato. What a pickup from him! Long throw towards first. Whittle not able to pick it up cleanly. It drifts over. Great offensive stop from Escato, but it looks like he's hunched over at the edge of the infield.
He did give the thumb up, so
it looks to be all good. Looks like he's putting his hand on his back a little bit. Might have been just a sharp twist trying to make that stop.
It was a very strong throw. He does have that big arm, and he tried to show it off there. Might have just maybe tweaked his motion just a slight bit. It will be ruled a infield single.
Great effort from Mandalay there to get over towards first. Yeah, like you mentioned, a sharp throw from Escato, but definitely a tough one, particularly with the hop that it took as well. I know sometimes it only takes one kind of funky twist to feel a little bit of pains and aches. I've been a physical wreck so far this year in the baseball season, but talk about that a different day. Count now 2-0 on Matt Fabian, who's in the box.
Back to the point I was going to make before that play. In between the top and bottom of the 4th, we went over the out-of-town scoreboard where Brantford had a 7-run lead. Kitchener had a 3.
So that one's lined right up the middle, right up Main Street. Bernie able to get to it pretty quick. So another single, back-to-back singles now for the Maple Leafs.
Well, it seems like those big leads have come and gone. Brantford, who had the 7-run lead, now only leads 9-8 after the 5-run 4th from the Barnstormers. Another run here in the top of the 5th, where they are currently. And then Kitchener was up 3-0 against Hamilton in Burnie Arbor. That has now gone. A 5-run bottom of the 3rd for the Cardinals, and then another run for the Panthers in the top of the 5th. They're currently in the bottom of the 5th with a 5-4 Cardinals lead.
Squares to bunt. Whittle picks it up cleanly. Little throw over towards first. So Brant does what he was hoping to there. Advance the runners. So Mandalay now over at 3rd. Fabian over at 2nd. 2 runners now in scoring position for the Maple Leafs. First little hit of life so far in this one. And that'll turn things over back to the top of the lineup here. That one's grounded over towards the 3rd baseman. A long throw from Lenahan over to first. Great effort there. Man, Lenahan really showing his versatility over at 3rd base. Again, if you're just joining us, he's usually playing over at first. That's where we've been used to seeing him so far this season. But some great defensive plays over at 3rd base to hold those runners on and get the out at first.
Yeah, he's really looked comfortable over there at 3rd. He played played third base a little bit in the first 2 exhibition games before the season began. He looked comfortable over there on the other corner doing the same thing today, and now what is a good spot for the Toronto Maple Leafs trying to get their first run of the game has now turned into a bit of a tricky one where you now need a base hit to score a run. Brandon LaRue Chris Tavares is 0 for 2 today.
So 2 outs now, but 2 runners in scoring position. First pitch to him, a curveball downstairs out of the zone, ball strike 1.
And another use of that breaking ball from Payano, getting it down and away to get Tavares swinging. Has already struck out once, so one of his only 2 strikeout victims today.
Payano would love to get the out here with a loud hitting Puig on deck. Would love to not give him an opportunity with multiple in scoring position. Some talks back and forth between Payano and Escato, probably just talking about some defensive alignment here. It's the 0-1 count on Tavares. Another curveball in there, catching the zone. Does he make it 3 in a row here? I wouldn't be shocked, though, if he went with a fastball upstairs, make him think that another curveball is coming in, but just blow it by him.
It is something that Payano would definitely be looking to do, and trying to make it 5 scoreless here. Goes for the breaking ball again. Unfortunately, Tavares does not go chasing at it, so now you'll have another chance. Maybe he goes it again, although Tavares has seen it 3 times now, is kind of expecting it from Payano.
Some good restraint from him. Yeah, looked like that one released a little low out of the hand from Payano, so probably not the exact arc that he was wanting. It's the 1-2 pitch. Another curveball in there. Another strike, but looks like either the bat or the ball might have clipped Diolio, the catcher, behind the plate on that one. So definitely a foul tip. Roop Chanderdat, one of the trainers, were inching their way out. Diolio calls him off, though. Looks like he's fine. Might just need a quick breather.
Yeah, it's just kind of a bit of a stinger. Came right down on about the thigh area. That's the only part, the front of your body, where you don't have any protective padding. It's that in your arms, and what's usually the juiciest part of the leg right there is. But Diolio is a bit of a warrior, so he will obviously stay in this game.
He's been battling his bumps and bruises over the past few weeks. So 2 outs. Payano set on the mound. 2 runners in scoring position. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on, little dribbler over towards Anoa at second. Quick throw to first, and the Majors able to get out of it. So the Maple Leafs threaten. Their first run of the ball game was just 90 feet away, but not able to come up with the clutch hit. Still scoreless in this one. The Maple Leafs 5 hits versus the Majors 9 so far. And again, some great stuff, a great effort from Victor Payano on the mound.
Yeah, he's just been so strong today. Has been working both of his pitches quite well so far. He's really been getting these hitters guessing on these, and will definitely continue in this ball game. Look for him to go possibly another 2 innings and get back to this offense. Who didn't score last inning, might be trying to come back and get a run in this time around. Yadier Martinez is staying on the mound, and Toronto down 8, might not use as many pitchers. We'll try and stretch out Martinez for as long as they can. He is a usual starter who's does not usually come out of the bullpen. As you see the games here, as I said, they've gotten close to
Man, the Majors and the Leafs, the only one that's been kind of blown open so far. We thought Brantford had a pretty solid lead in their matchup against Chatham-Kent, but that one just a one-run ball game. 9-8 so far. So plenty of baseball to watch for some Friday night action across the CBL. Again, looked like a one-run ball game between the Panthers and the Cardinals as well. Again, that was our out-of-town scoreboard. Happy to have you here with us for London versus Toronto in some CBL action. As you saw on your screens a little bit earlier, we are seeing some action over in that Maple Leafs bullpen as well. No one throwing quite hard yet, but definitely a few people on their feet starting to move around, trying to prep for the next few innings. But like you mentioned, Owen, it looks like Martinez will stay in the ballgame for at least this inning so far. And Jared Burney will be back in the box to kick things off in the bottom of the fifth. The Majors still rolling pretty well so far with an 8-0 lead. First pitch to Burney, swung on, foul down the right side.
Yeah, and we've seen a couple of teams do this against the Majors this season. We saw it a lot last weekend in their 3 big wins. You don't exactly use as many relievers.
Is that one cleanly thrown over to first base, so Burney the first out of the inning. Again, we've seen some good defensive flashes from the Maple Leafs, but we have also seen a few mix-ups here and there. That consistency a bit of an issue, but when the Maple Leafs roster gets hot, they can get hot pretty quick, whether that's on the pitching side, the hitting side, or the defensive side. Majors making the most of the opportunities that they've had so far. And speaking of great opportunities, Trent Lenahan has been pretty standout so far this season. First pitch to him a bit inside, ball 1.
Yeah, Lenahan's 2 for 3 today, 2 singles in the fielder's choice, so he's got on base all 3 times. As the 2 RBIs in addition to that.
One of multiple Majors players who have been contributing on the offensive side so far. Obviously, Escato been pretty loud in this one. Those back-to-back home runs in the first and second innings. Whittle's been on base a few times. Lenahan's been on base a few times. And Owa's been on base a few times. So a whole lot of standouts so far in this battle. Count now 1-2 on Lenahan. 1 out as that one's flared over towards center field. It touches the grass. Nice little shot from Trent Lenahan to bring the Majors their 10th hit in the ball game.
Well, make that his 3rd hit already. We've only played 5 innings. He's had 4 at-bats so far. It's his 3rd single of the day. This one he just kind of took the hands out on it, brought the end of the bat right out, and with how strong he is, he's able to get that right over the second baseman of Jordan Mandalay. And it'll bring up Christian Enoa, who is 2 for 2 today.
I believe numbers-wise, that was Lenahan's 30th hit of the season. And just for context, over his last 5 games, he's 14 for 22. That's a .636 average. So he's been red hot, whether that be on the power side or the contact side. Been pretty standout so far. And Noah, another name in that exact same category, as that one's drilled deep over towards center field. The center fielder unable to get to it, though, just a few feet in front of the warning track. So some power, but a tough spot on the field for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, loud out there for Christian Enoa. That'll be his first time not getting on base today, as the sound off the bat really got the fans jumping for that ball. Unfortunately, kind of died about halfway up, and now Eduardo Diolio, a man who's trying to turn his luck around, ended the second with a fielder's choice, ended the third with a fly out to center. Another opportunity with 2 outs here for him.
First pitch to him a bit outside, ball 1. You know that the Majors are doing pretty well when a lot of our scorecards up here in the booth are pretty full. to say the least. The fact that this is the fourth go around for these London Majors batters already in this one. It's been pretty standout across the board. A great offensive showing. Of course, you got to give some credit to Payano for holding this Maple Leafs offense back as well. But some run support early on. Again, 2 runs in the first, 2 runs in the second, 4 runs in the third as well. And 10 hits in the ball game.
Yeah, we're already halfway through our 4th time around the order. Toronto just finished their 2nd. They just started their 3rd time round, as you'll have 3, 4, and 5 in the 6th. But we've seen this a lot from them. You get a lot of reps at the plate because of this offense, and you may see them get like 7 at-bats today.
So that one's grounded over towards the shortstop. They'll make the throw over towards second. Not able to come up with it cleanly, though. Another defensive mix-up for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Lenahan able to get in there at second. So we'll see how that's ruled, but likely to be another error on the night for the Maple Leafs.
It's another error for the Maple Leafs, and their defense is just kind of brought the Majors momentum here on the offensive side. That is kind of the reason they've had so many opportunities. You've only walked 3 times so far today, and then
Joseph turns on that one, but it goes well foul.
Then the 4 errors as well, so you've had a lot of base runners so far. That's been the game plan for London all throughout this season. You want to get more of a small ball approach, get multiple runners on base, trying to create chaos in and around the diamond, and the Majors have definitely succeeded with that this season, kind of showing it off again tonight.
Yeah, you can definitely say that again. Been absolutely shelling out tonight, and over their past few games, been really racking up the runs, flexing their offensive pedigree as well. Count now 2-1 on Joseph. Well, he's happy to see a few smiles, and saw a couple smiles from pitcher Martinez, particularly when those ball 4 chants started coming, a staple here at Labatt Memorial Park, and hard not to get a little bit of a chuckle when those start kicking up.
It always brings a smile. It's such a good tradition here in London. I saw it, it kind of started a couple years ago. I don't know if you remember seeing the clip, the Texas A&M fans doing that. They did that almost every time, and
right on cue.
as we're talking about it, we get it one more time. You get it every time. There's a 3-ball count, and then they kind of continue as the balls keep coming. And
Joseph swings in that one. It rolls foul. Yeah, love it or hate it, it's a staple of London Majors baseball at Labatt Memorial Park.
Yeah, no matter what you do with that thing, that tradition is never leaving this place. No matter what. I'm sure we've been a part of it, whether we're not in the broadcast booth. And
hard not to be honest with you, as the payoff pitch is swung on, fouled back. It's hard not even watching some major league level play and seeing some of those batters, those pitchers get into similar positions and not wanting to start yelling ball 4 either over at the stadium at the players or here as well, as it looks like we're starting to see some more accelerated action over in the Maple Leafs bullpen. So we'll see how much longer Martinez stays in the game for. Again, 2 outs in this one. The payoff pitch catches the plate. Strike 3 called. Martinez gets his 2nd strikeout of the ball game in what potentially might have been his last pitch here. So some good action so far Definitely some mixed play as well. Handshake right there, likely to be Martinez's last pitch, so we will likely have a pitching change. Of course, nothing set in stone when we get over towards the top of the sixth, but good on him to shut things down. A tough start to the game again. 8 runs in 3 innings for the Majors, but able to shut things down. And with that, we will take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a few moments right here on Majors TV.
Get ready, Chatham-Kents. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The league's top talent, all in one place. Watch the full slate of skills competitions, including the popular Home Run Derby on Saturday, and on Sunday, the ultimate 2026 CBL All-Star Game featuring your favorite players for a mid-season showdown. Chatham-Kents, it's our time. The All-Star Weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
Carbon monoxide is a deadly gas you can't see, smell, or taste.
Homes with fuel-burning appliances and or attached garages must have working CO alarms installed on every level of the home.
Install working CO alarms today.
It's the law.
Another's blank and stock metals deliver impact without compromise. Fully customizable with UV full color printing or 3D printing to showcase your logo, event name, or design. 1 or 2-sided printing available. Some stock metals have a recessed area for adding plates for divisions, names, and more. Each metal includes a stock neck ribbon or upgrade to a custom ribbon with your branding. Just allow for lead time. Versatile, customizable, affordable.
Explore your options at nothers.com or call 1-800-265-1554.
And welcome back to Labatt Memorial Park as we make our way into the 6th inning of this one. A long, lengthy start to the ball game, but things starting to speed up as we get through the middle innings. Again, thank you so much for joining us here for this one. Justin Koehler joined by Owen Taylor, Evan Fredrickson down on field level. So the Maple Leafs kicking off the top of the 6th. The Yasiel Puig getting things going. First pitch in there for a strike.
Yasiel Puig, he's 0 for 2 so far today. A fielder's choice and a fly out to right field.
A 1 pitch swung on, hit right on Main Street. Touches the center field grass, so a single to kick off the inning for Puig. He looks like he was about to dart over towards second. Quick turn back to first, though. So Puig gets the inning going on a positive note, keeping some of that offensive momentum rolling for the Maple Leafs. Still itching for their first run of the ball game.
And a good hit there from Puig. That is his first here in London. Obviously went 0 for 4 the last time the Leafs came into town. A little bit of action in the Toronto bullpen. We believe to be Ethan Boisvert, a pitcher who was just announced on the team this morning.
So that one's looped over to right. A great sliding play by Zadunik in right. Great stuff from him. But yeah, like you mentioned just there, we are likely to see Boisvert coming in the next inning. We're trying to get some confirmations. Obviously, it's sometimes a little bit tough when a player is just signed, particularly when it comes to jersey numbers on our end. So we're trying to get some confirmations from you there, but likely to see that pitching change next inning. So great effort there from Zadunik in right. That'll bring up Marcus Connect now. It's ready in the box. Puig over at first. That one swung on, fouled back.
And Marcus Connect has not been able to connect with the baseball positively. You like what I did there?
I like a good little pun, like that. I'm sure as someone with the first name Justin, a compound word, I can relate to someone who has a potentially punny name in Connect. So I I respect it. I understand what he goes through, but with that, I love a good little pun at the same time, as that one's flown out, but foul.
It's kind of difficult not to do it with a name like Connect. It's just right in the back of your mind. You want to say it, but you know how cheesy it is.
There's just so many opportunities, to throw one out here and there.
No, there's way too many.
As someone with the name Justin who works in news, things like this just in, or just in case you didn't know, stuff like that, it's just I get the puns on a regular basis. I was having a conversation with some coworkers about that earlier today. So I got you, Connect. I understand how your life must be on a regular basis. Count now 0-2 on him with one out in the inning.
I'll always make these jokes, and I'll go home and either I'll get. My parents love the jokes. My dad does them all the time, and it's
swing and a miss. So another strikeout racked up for Payano, continuing his impressive outing so far.
So 3 Ks for Payano, a bit of a lower number than we usually see from him today, but he's been using the light contact to his success.
Yeah, a little bit different, like you mentioned, from what we're seeing. But yeah, no sharp power. Nothing going too deep in the outfield in particular. We're seeing a lot of kind of bloopers up the middle, some little drops here and there, and kind of right, left, center. But not a lot of damage being done across the board. And Payano's just doing a good job of mixing things up and keeping these Maple Leafs batters on their toes. Stay Banning is now in the box. So Puig still over at first. 2 outs now in the inning. The 0-1 pitch catches the inner part of the plate, making it an 0-2 count.
Yes, Puig, someone doesn't exactly look like he's running. Does not really taking the big lead off the mound. We know Victor Payano has a really good pickoff move, as you saw there. That is Caleb Casey in the London bullpen, kind of looking on before throwing a couple pitches there.
So that one's flared over towards second base, and Noah comes up with it cleanly. So some good defensive stops here so far.
We look to see if he'll get the handshake from Roop Chainerdad, as it looks like he will. So that is Victor Payano's night over. He goes 6 scoreless in a 8-0 ball game here. We will also get the pitching change from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Again, a man who we believe is Ethan Boisvert. This will be his first action in the CBL, as it is.
And so with that, we will take an opportunity to throw it down to the third member of our broadcast crew, Evan Fredrickson, down on field level. Evan, what do you got for us?
Gentlemen, thank you very much. I want to bring back a little session that I started a few weeks ago, and that's called the Memorial Bullpen Breakdown. And I want to highlight a few arms, Miguel Sereno and Zach Laird. Now, Sereno, he's been electric, 11 2/3 of an inning. That ERA, just over 2 in the whip, under 1. And for Zach Laird, oh man, the electric lefty, 3 of his last 4 appearances have been scoreless, compiling 12 strikeouts in that span. And gentlemen, I want to hear your thoughts. What bullpen arms have stood out to you? Because in my opinion, you could call down any one of that bullpen arms, and they could be used in a high-leverage situation. And it's a good problem to have, but gentlemen, I want to hear your thoughts, guys.
Yeah, definitely a great problem to have, having a lot of good bullpen arms. Plenty to choose from. Obviously, Caleb Casey is a great name to come to mind. It looks like he's warming up over in the Majors bullpen. Likely to see him coming up. But, yeah, a lot of great pitchers to pick from, whether that be Dusty Davidson, Miguel Sereno. Do you have any thoughts? Any big standout bullpen arms in your mind for the Majors?
There are a lot I can definitely mention. You have a bullpen ERA of 4.45. You just have so much depth and talent into this. You have the two that I haven't mentioned. Obviously, Miguel Sereno, Zachary Laird, Dusty Davidson, who you said. One person I would like to highlight is Cade Douglas, a man who has just been so strong this season. He gave up a run in his first appearance on the year back on May 17th, and then it took him all the way to June 20th to give up another earned run. So that's 7 appearances for Cade Douglas before giving up a second run of this season, though. He has been in really good form. Another guy is obviously Skylar Janice, who was the closer of the year last year, obviously. He's been doing this for so long in this league, and you know what to expect from him every time he shows up.
So that one swung on, drilled over towards right field. It goes over the right fielder, hits off the wall. Zadunik makes the turn from first over towards second, slides his way in, avoids the tag, and a loud start to the inning for Tucker Zadunik.
Well, how about a start there? You have Ethan Boisvert's first batter he faces so far in his CBL career, was just signed to the Maple Leafs, or at least announced earlier today. The Oshawa native spent 4 seasons at West Virginia Wesleyan College down in the U.S. Had a pretty good career down there. Has started his debut off. 6'6", 230-pound right-hander from Oshawa's. Adam Thuss is now up.
That one turned on and drilled over towards left field. It touches the grass, goes over towards the left fielder, Dave Banning. Zadunik will come around to score. Thuss stays at first, and just as quickly as we had a loud double, we've got an equally loud single and an RBI off the bat of Adam Thuss.
Yeah, nice hard hit down the left field line. One that Adam Thuss maybe could have stretched out to a double. However, does elect to play it safe, stays at first base, and now back-to-back hits to start the inning. It's Xavier Whittle, who's looking for his second hit tonight. He's 1 for 2, a single and a walk.
I think it makes sense when you have a now 9-run lead, a 9-0 ball game. You do not need to be pushing anything. You don't need to be going for those extra slides. You don't need to be going for that extra base here and there. So I understand holding Thuss over at first. Don't want to just risk too much. So Whittle's now in the box, fouls that one back.
If it seems like I'm the jokester up here, I'm not. When it comes to my family, I got a text from my dad saying I really know how to connect with the audience here. That was maybe a better one than the one I made.
And so we are seeing some action over in the Maple Leafs bullpen. I believe that is Kyle Pops now warming up. So we're going to see some more active pitching changes as we start pushing through this one. It's count out 2-1 on Whittle. That one swung on again, turned over towards left center. A sharp shot off the bat of Whittle. Thuss goes around second, passes third on his way home. Whittle over at second. And another big RBI shot, an RBI double off the bat of Whittle.
Well, your first 3 hitters of the inning give you 3 hard base hits. You have 2 doubles and a single to start it out. And again, continuing the theme here, the 2 runs in the inning. That Xavier Whittle, he gets his multi-hit game as now Michael Escada will come in. Toronto will take a quick mound visit here as
it looks like we're probably gonna. They might be getting ready for that pitching change, but it looks like it's just a brief discussion here, trying to see if you can stay in, how the pitch mix is looking. Clearly getting hit around hard so far. Again, Boisvert pretty new to this team. So he'll stay in the game for now. But 2 RBIs. The Majors now leading 10-0, so they're in double-digit scoring. 13 runs in the game as well. And it shifts back up to a dangerous part of the order. Michael Escado now in the box. Runner still in scoring position. So if the Majors hadn't already blown it open, they really are putting it into gear now. 2 more runs so far in this inning, still none out. First pitch to Escado. Downstairs, goes behind the catcher. Whittle gonna hustle his way over towards third, so a wild pitch there. And suddenly the Majors are 90 feet from tacking on yet another run.
Well, and the pressure continuing here against Ethan Boisvert is not exactly the debut he was looking for here. As Escato looking for his third hit of the game. He's 2 for 4. So another one gets away.
Looks like they're going to hold Whittle back, though. That one might not have gotten far enough. Would have been pretty dicey at home plate. Again, with a 10-run lead, you do not need to be pushing anything and giving away any obvious outs. There's a little less urgency for these Majors batters right here in comparison to the Maple Leafs. So 2-0 count now for Escato. Again, back-to-back home runs in the first and second innings for him. So that one's well inside, making it 3-0. Boisvert looks like he's having a tough time either finding the zone or trying to move it around a little bit to try and limit some of these hard hits. Majors have been capitalizing pretty well on him so far in this inning. So that one's in there. Escato looks like he was a statue, was not going to be swinging at anything with a 3-0 count. Now 3-1.
Again, you had your aggressive start. You did what you needed to do for this one. Now all you need to do is try and keep your form. Escato will get on base for the fourth time today. Sorry. There's now runners on the corners, and now Jarrett Burney, who's looking for his first hit of the ball game. He's 0 for 4.
Looks like we're going to have another meeting on the mound. This is likely going to be that pitching change. Wouldn't be too surprised to see that here. So a pretty tough outing here for Boisvert. So yeah, he's going to be taken out of this ball game.
And so Leafs manager Rob Butler will go to the bullpen as we also see a base running change here. That is David Dreyers coming in for Michael Escato.
He's likely to shift over towards shortstop. So as we get ready for this pitching change, we are going to take a quick commercial break. And this is the London Majors taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. We'll be back in just a moment right here on Majors TV.
Nether's blank and stock metals deliver impact without compromise. Fully customizable with UV full color printing or 3D printing to showcase your logo, event name, or design. 1- or 2-sided printing available. Some stock metals have a recessed area for adding plates for divisions, names, and more. Each medal includes a stock neck ribbon or upgrade to a custom ribbon with your branding. Just allow for lead time. Versatile, customizable, affordable.
Explore your options at nothers.com or call 1-800-265-1554.
Smoke alarms expire after 10 years. Check the date and test your smoke alarm today.
A working smoke alarm is a gift the whole family can enjoy.
Follow us online at LDN ONT Fire.
And welcome back to Labatt Memorial Park. Few changes to talk about here on the diamond. Kyle Popp's now in to pitch for the Maple Leafs. David Dreyer's now pinch running for Michael Escato, who got on via the walk.
And you see the numbers here for Kyle Pops. Obviously a little inflated there. He's only had 7 innings of work stretched across 6 games, and it has been a struggle for him to start the season. He does play both ways on the diamond. And an 11.57 ERA here for Cal Pops. He will face Jared Burney. Still nobody out in the inning, Justin, as it has been a dominant inning here for the London Majors.
Yeah, the Majors have really been rolling forward with the domination in this one. Again, a 10-0 lead if you're just joining us. Majors out hitting the Maple Leafs 13-6 as well. So Pops will look to slow things down. Again, love seeing a two-way player on the mound. He has a .231 average on the season, and like you mentioned, a bit of an inflated ERA, 11.57 so far. There's the ball 7 calls now here at Labatt Memorial Park. That one's in there for a strike, making it the count 2-1.
We have yet to reach a ball 8 chant this season.
Easier said than done, you know. So that one swung on. Foul down the right side, well over the heads of all the fans in attendance here. Yeah, that would be a one for the stat sheet, you know? How many ball 4, ball 5, ball 6 calls we have here at the ballpark. I think that'd be interesting to see. Next pitch swung on, grounded down the third base line, but foul. Yeah, if the fans in attendance could go for the for the ball cycle in a way, try and get a ball 4, a ball 5, a ball 6, and ball 7 call. Count out.
We just keep talking over each other now.
Count out 2-2. That one swung on, hit well over the head of the first baseman into the right field. Another piece of solid contact from these majors hitters. A nice single for Jarrett Burney.
Well, there you go. Another man with a hit. You've had 8 of your 9 hitters in this majors lineup who have gotten a hit. The lone man to have not gotten one so far is Eduardo Diolio. As Trent Lenahan will come up now. So we'll get a quick talk between Brant and Pops. There's a little bit more action over there in the Toronto bullpen. That is Reynaldo De Paula warming up. As we'll see how long we get Kyle Pops in here. And then we go into more of this Toronto depth.
In any case, it's a tough way to get the weekend rolling for the Maple Leafs in particular. So no game tomorrow for them, but they do play Sunday. They're playing host to the Barnstormers, Chatham-Kent in that one. The Majors doing a lot of damage to the bullpen so far. So we'll see if that has an impact later in the weekend for Toronto.
Yeah, it should be a little tricky for them, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast. Just the
That one's drilled right on Main Street. Another sharp hit for the Majors, and that will load the bases. As Dreyers throws on the stop sign over at third.
Well, how about this stat line for Trent Lenahan? You're 4 for 5 with 4 singles on the day. That is, when you talked about consistency, you go to that for sure. As it seems Lenahan will step out of this ballgame. Then is Jaden Babiuk now over at first. So group candidate making a couple of changes here. You take out Escato and Lenahan. You'll give them the rest of the night off.
When you're doing as well as you are now, an 11-run lead for the Majors, it does make sense to try and pass around the at-bats as well. You don't want to tire your offense out ahead of the weekend, as that one's in there for a called strike. And Owen looked like he didn't agree with that call.
That's some difficult competition for both sides going into this next week.
That one's right high and in there. We've seen a few inside pitches trying to push these Majors batters back in this inning so far. So 1-1 count, still not out, as that one's drilled past the glove of the first baseman Tavares. It rolls over into left field. And again, the Majors now look like they're going station to station to station. Incredibly hard hit singles, and that makes it a 12-0 lead.
Yeah, now a 4-run inning here for the Majors. Still nobody out, as they have really continued their dominance here. I wouldn't be surprised if we see De Paula in this inning now. As now Eduardo Diolio will come up with the bases loaded.
First pitch to him, down and away, ball 1.
He's switched up the bat again. He's gone to the bat he used his first 2 plate appearances. As now he's really starting to get due. 0 for 4 today, the lone major without a hit.
So that one's grounded foul, a hot shot foul down the first base line. Yeah, Diolio would love to get that first hit of the ball game. Make it a complete offensive showing here across the board from player to player to player. 1-1 pitch to him, swung on, fouled, well high over the heads of all the fans in attendance.
Almost looks like he's going to swing it anything close almost. I'm sure he's dying for a hit tonight.
Oh, he's really got to be itching for it at this point, especially with the bases juiced like this. 1-2 pitch to him, swung on right up Main Street. Again, another example of the majors going station to station this inning. A hard hit single right up the middle. And with that, every majors starter has a hit, has been on base in this one. What a showing here for some Friday night action.
Yeah, first time we've been able to say that this season. Just dominance from 1 through 9. Eduardo Diolio finally gets his first hit of the game as he will come out as well. Ryder Hancock will run for him. So most of these London starters kind of coming out of this ball game. Group Chandler that is going to be resting them for the rest of this week. On Sunday, you start your home and home against Hamilton. You go Sunday at Labatt. You go Tuesday at Bernie Arbor. Then right back here on Wednesday and Friday. Wednesday will be your Canada Day game.
As Joseph drills that one deep to right center, it's going and it is over the fence. A grand slam to put an exclamation mark on the inning. What a hot shot from Starling Joseph.
Well, they just keep on coming. Starling Joseph, another home run. He has really been on fire as of late. Make that his 3rd home run on the season. RBI number 18 for him already, and coming into this inning, it was a 8-0 ball game. Now you make that 9 runs in this inning alone. It's 17-0 for your London Majors.
If you needed an example of just how good this lineup, this roster is, every single starter not only got on in this inning, every single player has come around. 8 hits, 1 walk, that big loud homer. What a crazy inning so far for the Majors.
I have no words for what has been going on this inning. You have all 9 guys come up, all of them get on base, all of them come around to score. As you just said, Dylan, we have a pitching change here. It is Reynaldo Del Paula to come into this game, and now what?
Am I Dylan Baker? Did you just call me Dylan?
Did I just say Dylan?
I'm gonna go cry.
Did I just say Dylan? Oh no.
A couple of us back here noticed it.
I worked within the last couple of weeks. I have not seen you in a little bit.
All good. You got the rest of the broadcast on your own, but no, I'm kidding.
I've been working with too many different people up here in the booth. It's difficult to get everybody's name.
And we're shooting through names here back and forth. We're rattling through rosters. Hey, I get it.
Listen, I've been talking for 2.5 hours straight. Eventually you go a little bit crazy, I feel like.
We will take the opportunity to give a big shout out to Dylan Baker, who's the regular play-by-play voice here on these Majors broadcasts. He's out at the NHL draft, having a great time over there. A big name in the hockey world locally with the Guelph Storm. A big opportunity from him. Of course, we missed him on the broadcast, but what an opportunity from him.
Yeah, great for him to be doing what He always does. And where we have the opportunity of being here at wonderful Labatt Memorial Ballpark. As I said, Reynaldo DePaula is into this game. Has played in 5 appearances. That goes for 4 2/3 innings pitched, an 11.57 ERA. That is a bit inflated. That's 6 runs in those 4 2/3 innings. As we go right back to where we started this inning, Tucker Zadunik right back up again. The start of this inning off with a double, trying to continue it. Bases cleared again.
You know what, as great of a ball game as this has been so far, it's not great for our scorecards as soon as we have to start drifting over columns in my book. So thanks for that. As Tucker Zadunik drilled on the first pitch, will walk his way down to first. Obviously anything can happen, but hard not to draw a couple question marks in a game like this.
Yeah, that was just kind of an unfortunate one. No intent there really from Reynaldo DePaula. It's just a fastball. He tried to get up and in on Zadunik, trying to start the at-bat. Just kind of gets away from him. That one gets away as well.
Very wild pitch, allowing Zadunik to make his way over towards second. So just as soon as he's hit, the immediate next pitch goes well behind. So Adam Thuss now getting his second go of the inning. You can see DePaula's stats there as well. Some tough numbers from him so far, as that one's upstairs. Ball 2.
It's a bit of a command issue to start the inning, or to start his inning.
Again, downstairs, struggling on the outer part of the plate so far. Count now 3-0. Again, 9 runs scored this inning alone. Still none out. The 3-0 pitch. That one catches the inner part of the plate. Strike 1.
This is our 11th man up to the plate today. Or, sorry, in this 6th inning.
Adam Thuss gets a hold of that one. Puig drifting back, right on the warning track, able to make the catch, though. Zadunik will tag up, make his way over towards third. And with that, we now have our first out of the inning.
How long has this inning been going on for?
Oh, it's been pretty lengthy. We need to start getting stopwatches up here.
It's been a very long inning here as the bottom of the 6th will continue. It's Xavier Whittle yet again doubled his last time up this inning. That was really weird to say.
Yeah, always funky when you have to start saying doubled this inning, singled this inning. That one again upstairs. Whittle having to duck down. He's not too happy about that one.
That's another pitch that gets high and inside. As if you're the Majors, maybe a little worried here, as that one gets in there.
Some sharp stuff, some good velocity that we're seeing. But yeah, command has clearly been a little bit of an issue. Next one, check swing foul off. So still 1 out in the inning. The Majors 90 feet away from tacking on their 10th run. That one swung on, drilled over towards the shortstop. Make the routine throw over towards first. And back-to-back outs now. We'll shift things back to the top of the order. David Dreyers came into the ball game to pinch run for Michael Escato, so he'll get his first hacks here.
I'm sure not something he expected out of coming into this one. So we've now made it to our 6th time around the order here, Justin.
Pretty crazy stuff here in this ball game. I don't know the last time I called a 17-0 ball game before. David Dreyers, 235 on the season so far. Would love to contribute to the Majors offense. Swing and a miss, making it 0-2.
Good breaking ball there from DePaula, just able to get that way down on him.
And DePaula now the 5th pitcher for the Maple Leafs, as that one swung on, grounded over towards the second baseman. Routine throw towards first, and the Maple Leafs finally get out of it. A loud inning, to say the least, for the London Majors. 9 runs come around, now a 17-0 lead, 18 hits in the ball game. And what a showing so far. As we get ready to shift into the top of the 7th, we will take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a few moments. Again, you're watching the London Majors taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs right here on Majors TV.
When we're together, amazing things happen. Feel what it means to be greater together.
Hockey isn't a game, it's a legacy. VMF Sportswear builds custom pro-level jerseys, socks, and apparel, like team hoodies and workout wear. Your colors, your crest, your identity. Create yours now.
And we're back here at Labatt Memorial Park. Quite a few changes to list off now as we get ready to push into the 7th. First off, pitching change. Caleb Casey now into the ball game. You'll see him on the mound on screen. A few defensive changes to rattle off as well. Jaden Babiak is now over at third base. David Dreyers at short. Ryder Hancock in left. And Adam Thus now behind the plate catching. So just to round things out, outfield consisting of Hancock, Burney, Zadunik, and then from left to right on the infield, Babiak, Dreyers, Anoa, and Whittle. First pitch to Mandalay in there for a strike.
Again, we haven't seen Caleb Casey since the 6th of June. He went 2/3 in the game against the Guelph Royals. This is actually his first appearance here in London for the Majors.
Just crazy at this point. We're more than a third of the way through the season, and some of these pitchers just getting their first go in front of the hometown crowd. I think Pimentel was in a pretty similar spot as well. He was almost their go-to away pitcher for week after week after week. Only got his first start just the other day. That one swung on a rocket right into the sky. Shortstop Dreyers able to make the play cleanly for the first out of the inning. So a hot shot there. That'll turn things over to Matt Fabian. He's the first baseman in this one. First pitch to him. Catches the lower part of the plate for strike one.
Matt Fabian is 0 for 2 today. This is only his 3rd plate appearance. Again, it's crazy to say to some of these London hitters. Every London hitter has gone through 5 now. We're getting into our 6th time. Toronto's only ending their 3rd.
Now on downstairs, evening things at 1-1.
The Majors have tripled Toronto's hit total. Now hitting them 18-6 here.
That one swung on, fouled back down the right side. Yeah, if you're a fan of statistics and fan of numbers, this has been a really good game for you. Some pretty highly inflated figures that we're seeing on the scorecard. So 1-2 count now on Fabian. That one just a bit outside, even things at 2-2. So that one's grounded over towards the shortstop. Dreyer's getting a little bit of action again. The throw towards Whittle at first. And another out here in this one. Second out of the inning.
And David Dreyer seeing his first action at shortstop this season. We've not seen him over there. We've really only seen him at third base so far this year. So his first time in the middle infield. He'll make his first play there. Now comes Matt Brandt, who is 1 for 2 today.
You know, I've been playing a little bit more infield baseball-wise this season in my own personal season. Usually playing outfield, but I've been playing a little bit of 3. It is a lot easier to shift from there to short than anywhere else, I would say. Is that one sky high over towards center. Jared Burney not having to do a lot of work out there. And quick 3 up, 3 down inning from the bottom part of the order. So the Majors pitching staff continuing to dominate here. We've been talking a lot about the offense. Obviously, whole lot of hits, whole lot of runs. But you got to give some shout-outs to the Majors pitching staff as well, limiting things as well as they have done. Pretty impressive show across the board.
It has been, and you know, you don't score 17 runs every day when you come to the ballpark. And London has kind of made a theme of their double-digit run totals this past weekend. As we look at the out-of-town scoreboard here, it almost seems like London's chasing that total over in Brantford. The Chatham-Kent Barnstormers now have the lead in that ball game. It's a 13-12 game is what it says on the website. However, that is saying something different. As well as in Hamilton, the Cardinals still holding on to their lead. As it froze up right as that base hit happened. Anyways, the Cardinals have the 5-4 lead over in Burney Arbor. Right back here in Labatt Memorial Ballpark, it is a 17-0 game.
It's crazy how the Majors have almost doubled the total runs of one game and are on the hunt for the total runs of the other. Crazy stuff. Again, if you're just joining us, the score is 17-0 in favor of the Majors here. Out hitting the Maple Leafs 18-6. The Maple Leafs also have 4 errors in the ball game as well. Just a tale of two sides, unfortunately, in this one. The Majors sitting in first place, been showing plenty of pops on the offensive side. The Maple Leafs, meanwhile, in last place in the league. Tough times for the offense. Again, we've seen those miscommunications defensively. The pitching's gotten hit around a lot. Just not a lot clicking tonight in particular for Toronto.
Yeah, it's been rough. And I want to take a quick second to talk about how good this London offense has been. Over this last 7-day stretch, the Majors have played 5 games. They have scored 64 runs in those 5 games. You get 17 on last Friday, you have 13 in Barrie, 10 against the Brantford Red Sox on Sunday, and then you have the 5, which is somehow the lowest total, back on Tuesday in Chatham-Kent, and now another 17 here with still 2 more innings to go for this London offense.
Anytime you are averaging double-digit runs for a prolonged stretch in any ball season, you know you're doing something right. Let's count now 1-2 on Jared Burney, who's in the box again.
They've averaged 12.4 runs in this last week.
Look at them go. Some impressive stuff so far from the Majors. We're starting to see some action over in the Majors bullpen as well. I think that's Alex Springer warming up as Burney grounds that over towards the shortstop. A routine throw towards first, and the first out of the inning comes a lot faster than it did the previous inning. So 1 out now. We'll turn things over to Jaden Babiak, who's getting his first taste of action. Came in for Trent Lenahan. Again, after that pretty busy 6th inning that we saw.
I like your point. As the Burney out is quicker than last inning. I'm sure that's a bit of an understatement, I guess.
Almost be a bit of a sigh of relief for the Maple Leafs dugout for sure in comparison when you're looking at back-to-back innings. 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed.
I'm sure that's definitely tough on your scorecard.
yeah, it's all over the place. A lot of scratches, a lot of marks on here. A lot of indiscernible letters on this scorecard for me, but we're making do in this one. So 1 out, no runners on. The 1-2 pitch swung on, foul down the third base side.
So yeah, another souvenir. This one was bounced all the way to the first row, and look at that kid getting the ball.
He swung on and missed a strikeout. Tapala getting to work early. First 2 batters sat down. And here at Labatt, if you get a foul ball, it's a souvenir. You don't get to trade it in for any Krispy Kreme donuts or freezies. Just get a nice, fun souvenir from the ball game. So 2 outs now. First pitch in there. Looks like Christian Inoue was backing off the plate. Was going to be taking that pitch no matter what.
Can be pretty interesting with those little trades teams do. Obviously, what Toronto's doing, a baseball for a Krispy Kreme donut. I saw a couple days ago the Ottawa Titans of the Frontier League are offering away their number 7 Titans jerseys for a number 7 Brady Tkachuk.
Ooh, that's pretty rad. Can't say no to something like that, as that one's drilled over towards left field, but just a few feet in front of the warning track. Dave Banning able to pick it up cleanly. And a clean inning for the Maple Leafs. 3 up, 3 down here. But still a tough one in this one. The Majors currently leading 17-0. As we get ready to shift into the 8th inning, we will take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a few moments. You're watching the London Majors taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs here on Majors TV.
Together, amazing things happen. Feel what it means to be greater together.
To be the best, you've got to ring performance from every second. The game is getting faster every season. So Rawlings made a time machine to help you keep up. Introducing the all-new Velo ACP. It's light, it's balanced, so you can pick your pitch. Drive the ball with maximum exit velocity. The game's gotten faster. Your bat has too.
And welcome back to Labatt Memorial Park. A very interesting game, to say the least. We are getting another pitching change from the Majors side. Alex Springer, the left-handed pitcher, coming in. Some decent numbers from him so far.
Yeah, Springer has had a pretty good start to his season. Didn't get used much at the first couple of weeks. Has only been used 4 times. His last time coming against the Kitchener Panthers right here on the 19th of June. A 3.38 ERA for him in his 4 games this season, as well as a little bit of action in the Toronto bullpen as well.
Also looks like Kirk Gibson is coming into the game to hit. Coming in for Brando LaRue. So he'll get his first taste of action here, as both teams are starting to cycle through a few of their options. Obviously a 17-0 ball game. Not much worth in flexing the resiliency of your team at this point. Might as well give a few different players some opportunities to pitch, some opportunities to hit, mix things around a little bit. The 0-1 pitch from Springer swung on, grounded over towards Dreyers at short. He'll make the throw over towards Whittle at first. quick first out here for Springer.
So a quick start to the inning for London. First batter, the first out of the ball team. As Rich Tavares will step up.
So one out now, top of the 8th. And the Majors leading 17-0, out hitting the Maple Leafs 18-6. That one swung on and missed.
Okay, another point I want to make. It seems like whatever we do, or whether we show something, we tell something, something is going to happen. The Brantford Red Sox now have the lead.
Ooh.
We just showed it. It was 13-12 Barnstormers. It's now 14-13 Red Sox. As it doesn't look like we'll be reaching that total tonight.
They're trying to put it out of reach. The Majors still trying to catch up to that total run total in that game. It's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Springer gets himself a strikeout. And quick 2 up, 2 down in this one. And yeah, we know it's a 17-0 ball game, and it's a one-run game between the Barnstormers and the Red Sox. But hey, we appreciate having you here on Majors TV. What's been a fun ball game across the board. Use the word interesting a couple times, but a lot of fun. We've gotten some good pitching. We've gotten some good offense so far as well. A good mix for the hometown team as that one's drilled over towards center field. Jarrett Burney making his way over and makes the grab cleanly. So pretty efficient 3 up, 3 down outing for Alex Springer. No damage done. Back-to-back 3 up, 3 down innings now for the Maple Leafs, as they're looking to get out of this ball game at this point.
As we will continue this one, we have about an inning and a half left to play in this one. We will go with the 5, 6, 7 hitters in this one for this bottom half. And as you look on your screen right there, how about that?
The big man himself starting to warm up, a hometown favorite. Cleveland Brownie might get some of his first at-bats. A good hack here with that 17-0 lead. Obviously a lot of smiles over in the dugout as Cleveland's warming up.
The longest tenured Major. Played a little bit last year as well. Had 12 at-bats, only had the 1 hit. He's been with the team since 2010, has not missed a single year. He will get some action tonight. He will take over Starling Joseph's DH spot for his 1 at-bat.
So we'll see him. He'll be the second batter of the ball game in this one. Again, we're going to see Ryder Hancock coming in. He ended up pinch running for Eduardo Diolio. We'll see Cleveland Brownlee coming in, and then Tucker Zadunik. So it should be a lot of fun. Again, Cleveland Brownlee is such a huge presence on this team. He'll still take batting practices as well. He is on the roster, and I will say he can still club the ball well. Probably one of the best on just turning on it and drilling it, particularly towards left center. Really big pull hitter, and has not lost any power in his years and years of experience. Obviously a hometown favorite, a London legend for a reason.
Yeah, the London legend is a understatement. He's been with the team since I was 4 years old. The fact that he's been here
Don't say that to me. Don't
I'm starting to make you feel old. I'm starting to make everyone watching back home feel old. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to bring the fun, but also
put us in our place, you know?
You said it, not me. Okay.
So been a good ball game. Still some excitement left to go. So Ryder Hancock is in the box for his first go at it today. And I love his batting gloves. Almost just some working gloves there. Very similar to what Forrest wears on a regular basis. So that one catches the plate for strike call.
Yeah, our next 2 hitters are pretty interesting when it comes to their batting gloves. You have Ryder Hancock using the work gloves. Cleveland, who his gloves don't seem to be in view because he doesn't wear any.
And he's been like that for as long as I've known him. just no gloves. And it comes down to just what these players prefer, how you can get the grip. Some relying more on pine tar, on some of the actual grip itself, the tape around the bat as well. So 3-1 count now on Ryder Hancock.
Another thing we forgot to mention is now Alex Langigan in the ballgame for Toronto here. As that one from Hancock is fouled off to the left-hand side out to the concourse area.
And this is now the 6th pitcher for the Maple Leafs in this contest. And a tough way to get the bullpen going with another game left this weekend on Sunday. Just one rest day in between as Ryder Hancock swings and misses. Strikeout victim there.
So now here we go. We have the ovation kind of starting. You can hear everybody cheering. We got...
Here come the roars of the crowd, the claps. Plenty of fans standing up in attendance now as Cleveland Brownlee gets set to go into the box. His first hacks of the season. Again, an absolute majors legend and a London legend as well in the city. Loves this sport so much, loves this team so much, and loves the fans just as much as they love him. So great to see him getting some hacks here in this battle. Cleveland Brownlee, amazing player. Fouls that one off. Looked like that might have gone off his helmet there. A tough way to get things going for Brownlee.
A man who is in the London, for sure to be in the London Hall of Fame, possibly the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame in just a couple of years' time, depending on if he keeps signing with the majors. It's been a trend as that one is another hard foul ball.
It's getting some good contact here in this one. Bat-to-ball skills still there. And yeah, no one more deserving of the praise that they have here in the city of London. A great guy, always a smile on his face, and just loves this team. That one's a called strike on the lower part of the plate. Cleveland not too happy with it. That one looked a little low, a tough way to go. The boos ringing out here at Labatt Memorial Park. No one happy with that call. Home plate umpire crew chief Steve Cochran ruling that as a strike in the lower part of the plate.
You know, for the home team scoring 17 runs in this ballgame, that's the loudest it's been today. A Cleveland Brownlee strikeout looking, an unfortunate pitch, bit low and away. It's just kind of caught, it clipped a part of the zone. As there are now 2 out here in the bottom of the 8th.
I think I could see that if anyone is a bit more upset than anyone, it was Roop Chanderdat. He did not seem too pleased with that call. One of those guys who always has something to say, is talking amongst the dugout. Good communicator, but definitely looked like he was muttering a couple things over there. As that one's in there for a strike. Again,
Cleveland still all smiles. He's such a great guy to have around the ballpark. I'm able to talk to him sometimes before games. And
what was that I was saying about Roop not being too pleased over there? I think that might have been the best example we could get. But yeah, what a guy to take it on the chin like that. And, you know, a tough call, bottom part of the plate, and your first at-bat of the season as a hometown hero, and still in the dugout, all smiles.
Yeah, and he's so professional about it always, and this one's sent into shallow left. A tricky one. This will drop.
And the defensive disarray continues here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Another misplay. Again, a bit of a mix of some tough communication between the outfielders and the infielders that we've seen a couple times so far. Some risky plays. Obviously, you can't rule out it getting caught in the lights here at Labatt Memorial Park as well, but definitely a tough showing so far for the Maple Leafs.
It has, and that will not be recorded as an error, it looks like. They already had 4 in this one. I've not seen a 5th come up on the board. However, that will be recorded as a hit for Tucker Zadunik.
a little shocked that one's not ruled an error, but we'll see how things go. Like you mentioned, Zadunik will be happy to see that in the hit column for him if that stays like that. So Adam Thuss is back in the box. He's moved over to the catcher position. So that one's called strike on the outer part of the plate. Looks like Thuss might not have been too happy with the call as well. Count now 0-2 with 2 outs. One runner over at first. 2 pitch downstairs. Gets away, but not too much urgency around the bases at this point. Zadunik staying over there.
Man, how nice would it have been to see Cleveland just completely turn on one?
That's where we needed your broadcasting magic. That's where we needed that to come in.
Well,
so that one's hit sharply over towards second base, but picked up cleanly. Throw over towards first. So not a lot of damage done. Still an exciting inning, seeing Cleveland Brownlee take the field for the first time this season. Majors still leading 17-0, out hitting the Maple Leafs now 19-6. With that, we're getting set to enter the 9th inning in what's likely to be the final inning in this one. With that, we will take a quick commercial break. We will be back in just a few moments. Again, you're watching the London Majors taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs right here on Majors TV.
To be the best, you've got to bring performance from every second. The game is getting faster every season. So Rawlings made a time machine to help you keep up. Introducing the all-new Velo ACP. It's light, it's balanced, so you can pick your pitch and drive the ball with maximum exit velocity. The game's gotten faster. Your bat has too.
Right at the corner of Warncliffe and Emery, Ellie's Pizzeria is your neighborhood spot for real, handcrafted pizza. Using locally sourced flour for their dough and fresh ingredients from local farms for incredible flavor in every bite. Stop in before 3 p.m. for a slice and a pop for just $5 or 2 for $9. Ellie's Pizzeria, made local, made right.
We got this, united, step it up, keep on thriving, we trying, keep shining, living in a world where we colliding.
When we're together, amazing things happen. Feel what it means to be greater together.
Carbon monoxide is...
Welcome back to Labatt Memorial Park. Another pitching change here for the Majors as we push into what's likely to be the final inning of this one. Cade Douglas now in the ballgame, the right-handed pitcher. Some good numbers on the season so far for him, and bit of a low-pressure situation, to say the least, in this one.
Yeah, just trying to come in, get the final 3 outs, and bring these Majors fans home happy, as a lot of them have still stayed. You hear a lot of singing as well. Some from us as well. I heard you a little bit.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, we're here to have fun. There's no need to deny anything.
17-0 ball game, no fun being had as that one's grounded to a Noah at second. A tough one to make any sort of a play on. So Dutton able to get over there at first base. Yeah, I think everyone's having a lot of fun here at the ballpark, us up in the broadcast booth included. Still a pretty good crowd here in what's turning into a very lopsided game for the Majors. Again, if you're just joining us, thank you so much for joining in. You missed a good chunk of the action as the Majors are up 17-0. Again, out hitting the Maple Leafs 19-7. Maple Leafs have 4 errors in the game as well. Justin Koehler up here in the booth, joined by Owen Taylor. Thanks so much for joining us. Evan Fredrickson down on field level. As Dutton darts his way over towards second, but no attempt made there.
So still a lot of aggressiveness on the base paths here from Toronto, trying to get something positive out of this one.
That one shot, hit well, but just foul. Well, it might have been just about a foot or two. Obviously, the Maple Leafs will be showing a little bit of urgency because even though it's 17-0, it's quite the difference in score. You never want to be the team that gets shut out. It's getting anything on the board in terms of runs is a statement of its own with just how much they've had to battle in this game. Not just the offense, but the pitching side for the Majors have been very, very good, to say the least. Really no other way to put it. So they want to try and just capitalize on something. It looks like we're going to have a quick meeting on the mound.
And this happened to them earlier in the year, a 23-1 loss against the Hamilton Cardinals just a few weeks ago. Kind of the same thing happening tonight, and as they did in that game, got a run in the ninth to try and end it off on a positive note, trying to do the same thing here with a runner in scoring position for Marcus Connect.
Count 0-2 on Connect, one runner in scoring position, swung on and missed. Majors now 2 outs away from shutting this one out. Again, Dutton over at second now. Singled to get the inning going. Stole second on a catcher's indifference there. So that'll bring up Dennis Day Banning, who's in the box, 0-2 on the night so far. Douglas set on the mound. That one swung on, fouled off. Looked like Dutton was gunning it for third on the play there.
So you know you're not going to have Adam Thuss throwing over. You can kind of take the free base as far as you can. And
0-1 pitch. Goes back to the wall there, so Dutton will trek his way over to a third. So the Maple Leafs now just 90 feet away from getting their first run of the ball game and avoiding the shutout. That's, I think, their big goal at this point.
If you're Toronto, you really kind of want to end this on a positive note, going back to Toronto.
That one's grounded right back to Douglas. He'll eye over the runner at third, but get the routine out at first. Good hustle from Dutton to get there. And just like that, the Maple Leafs have their first run of the game and avoid the shutout.
The effort from J.J. Dutton. Some London fans cheering here for the Maple Leafs. That's a bit of a...
You know, it's a good show. You know, you like to see it. No one wants to watch a team get shut out in a ball game, whether you're the home or the away team. Good on the Maple Leafs to still try and fish for those positive moments, fish for something good in this game. Tough to get through the mental side when you're down by 17 runs, so a big shout out to the Maple Leafs for at least staying in this one as much as they can.
As the first pitch from Douglas is inside, a little 1-0.
The count now 1-0 on Mandalay, who's in the box. That one swung on just past the glove of Anoa at second. It drifts in towards right. And another single for the Maple Leafs to keep some life in the top of the ninth.
So now 2 hits in the inning here for Toronto. Ending on a positive note, there's Jordan Mandalay's third hit of the night. He goes to 3 and 4 today, and now Matt Fabian will come up. He's 1 for 3.
This is now tied for the most hits in an inning across the board in this one for the Maple Leafs. So 2 outs now. That one catches the lower part of the plate for strike 1. Matt Fabian would love to keep some life going for the Maple Leafs. The Majors just wanting to shut things down where they are. 0-1 pitch. Swung on, drilled sky high. Xavier Whittle makes his way underneath it. And that's the ball game. The London Majors able to come out in dominant fashion with a 17-1 win. Impressive stuff Some great offense. Of course, you have to talk about how good the pitching side was in this one as well. Combined efforts from Victor Payano, Caleb Casey, Alex Springer, Cade Douglas to keep it to a one-run ball game. What a show across the board. What a fun one to watch here for this hometown crowd.
It was very fun and exciting, Justin, and one of the more dominant games here from the London Majors this season. A 17-1 victory. This game reaching the 3-hour mark is, again, just a dominant performance from London all around. You have 19 hits in the ball game. You have 17 runs in the ball game. You only give up the one run, and that was right at the end of the night. So a very dominant performance all around from London. Now going into Sunday back here at Labatt Memorial Ballpark against the Hamilton Cardinals. Look for them to try and do the same thing against a challenging Hamilton squad. However, a team that is definitely beatable if you are the Majors.
Well, the Majors have been doing well across the board over the past few weeks. You mentioned the run totals that they've seen in recent weeks, in recent games, and this was absolutely no different. A slugfest, consistent hitting across the board for this team. Impressive to watch. Really, really tough to find one standout performance when things got going with some spectacular pitching. Got started with those back-to-back home runs from Michael Escato as well. So impressive stuff across the board. And with that, as tough as it's been to decide on a standout player of the game, we will take the opportunity to take things down over towards field level to Evan Fredrickson, who's our third member of the broadcast crew, with today's player of the game.
Gentlemen, thank you very much here with Victor Payano. What an absolute full team effort you guys put out today. How are you guys feeling?
I feel good. I feel really good. You know, working all week for that game. I put the game. I give the opportunity for the team for win today, and everything good. The team is great, and the group is really good, and everything is good.
You pitched 6 scoreless innings along with 3 strikeouts. What pitches were really working well for you against this Toronto lineup?
Yeah. I worked my fastball. The Olio called really good game today. The Olio is a really good catcher, you know, and I work together. That's why I got a really good result at the game today.
And lastly, what do you guys have to do to keep the momentum going and build a winning streak on this win here today?
Oh, no. You know, major swing. Yeah.
Gentlemen.
Thanks, Evan. It's been an impressive game across the board. What a standout performance. And the Majors are not done this weekend. One more game, again, here at home coming up on Sunday against the Hamilton Cardinals. Should be a lot of fun to watch. Make sure you tune back in for the broadcast, whether that be on Majors TV, on CBL TV. Should be a lot of fun, but what a ball game. That was a whole lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining us in this one. Again, I'm Justin Koehler, joined by Owen Taylor. You just heard from Evan Fredrickson down on field level. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you're tuning in from. Be sure again to tune in on Sunday for another matchup of London Majors baseball right here on Majors TV.